the world's most refreshing beer. Here at Capital One Field at Byrd Stadium in College Park, Syracuse and Maryland with postseason implications at hand. And good afternoon with Brian Stan. Wes Durham, Jen Hildreth will join us in just a moment. No two ways to cut it, Brian. Both Syracuse and Maryland want a postseason bid. The winner today gets the upper hand in that.
This is a must-win game for Syracuse. If they're going to go to a bowl game, they've got to win a bunch of games before they close out the season. And for Maryland, hey, it's on the line right here. They've had some bad luck with injuries, but they are not hanging their heads. They're coming for this win today.
Good news for the Turps. C.J. Brown, their outstanding quarterback, really the straw that stirs the drink, is back in the lineup.
He really is. This is a great, talented quarterback. He can throw the ball, but it's going to be his running ability that's key today. For a team that has struggled on third downs, they were a big play team, lost both their wide receivers. They need this man to get them first downs, to move the chains methodically and score some points.
Brown has had an outstanding year after missing all of last season, of course, with the preseason knee injury. For Syracuse, you know, it's funny, the old coaching adages are always the best defenses are the ones strong up the middle. Does that apply to the Orange?
It certainly does. These guys are physical and they can run. Jay Bromley, defensive tackle, is a monster in the middle of the field. In the middle, in the secondary, Darrell Eskridge, he has been fantastic this season, and Marquise Sproul is the leader of this defense. Big, strong, but he can run. It's all about physical football for the Syracuse Orangemen on defense.
Sproul is the leader, Jen, of about 3 or 4 very talented linebackers that Scott Schaefer can call on. Maryland had a hard time slowing down Clemson 2 weeks ago, Jen, and now they got a big challenge today awaiting them from the Orange.
Well, Brian just said it. Physical is the word for this Syracuse team. That's what Scott Schaefer told me just a few moments ago. And on offense, a lot of that has to do with their running backs. Leading rusher Jerome Smith told me this is a group that prides itself on being physical and fast. And Smith's running mate, Prince Tyson Gully, did both against Wake Forest last week. He is our hardiest star to watch. Now the senior is just 5'10", 190. He's got some good quickness, but Coach Schaefer said he can also get downhill pretty well for a smaller guy. Broke free for a 67-yard run. That matched Gully's career long last week against Wake Forest. And you know, guys, when you talk to any coaches in any game, a top priority is always stopping the run. And when we spoke with Randy Edsall yesterday, that was certainly the first thing out of his mouth concerning the Syracuse team.
Well, Jen, the one thing you find with the Orange is that they can get the lead into the fourth quarter, Brian, with the combination of Gully and Jerome Smith. Woo, could be tough.
That's exactly how they like it, Wes. They love to grind down the pace of the football game in the second half, and both of these running backs are averaging over 5 yards a carry.
Maryland has a blackout in progress here today. The Turps will wear all black. They won the toss and elected to defer in the student section here at Byrd Stadium, filling in for just the 35th meeting all time, but the first since 1994 between the Orange and the Turps. Brad Craddock will kick it away. Devontae McFarland and Prince Tyson Gully are deep for the Orange of Syracuse. And away we go from Byrd Stadium. And this will be McFarland. Hit at the 18 and fights his way toward the 20 before the Turps are there. So that's where Syracuse will start. Zach Dansel first got to get there, and our 4 keys to the game, Brian.
Yeah, 4 keys to the game. Let's go ahead and start with Syracuse. They've got to have success on first down and run the ball effectively. They do not do well when they get behind schedule and put the weight of the game on Terrell Hunt's shoulders, their young quarterback. For Maryland, they've got to handle the blitz of Syracuse on offense, and they cannot turn the ball over, something that crushed them last week against Clemson.
Hunt slings it to the far side, and that is Christopher Clark, 5'11" senior. And he picked up about 4 yards at Terrell Hunt. The numbers don't blow you away, but the leadership and the intangibles is what's helped him here in this redshirt sophomore season. Second down, a little more than 5, and Jerome Smith's first carry of the day is the first down for the Orange. Marcus Whitfield makes the tackle for Maryland. Our Toyota key players for Syracuse, and Jerome Smith, the redshirt junior from Bear, Delaware.
Yeah, he is fantastic. Ashton Broyle's probably their best overall athlete, although they've struggled to get him the football offensively this season.
First and 10. Fullback in the package, and we get a procedure call against Syracuse. The referee today, Brad Allen.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense number 1. 5-yard penalty. First down.
And our Toyota key players on defense for Randy Edsall and Maryland.
We got him highlighted there, Marcus Whitfield. He is going to be a key. He's their sack leader. He's a guy who makes a lot of plays in the opposite line, the line of scrimmage. Key player for them today defensively.
Here's Jerome Smith on 1st and 15. Fighting back toward the 34-yard line. Good hard running. A.J. Henry and Matt Robinson make the stop.
This is what you get with Jerome Smith. Yards after contact. He's a guy who just drags guys forward. And with an injured linebacker for Maryland's defense, this is going to be a key matchup.
8 yards on the carry for Smith. 3 receivers in the set here now for Terrell Hunt. 2nd down 7. And that's Grizzly Esteem. A catching to the 45-yard line, and another Syracuse first down on the 11-yard throw.
Impressive first down, especially with the penalty that started off this series. I like what we see here from Terrell Hunt, though. You can see he's going through his read progression. Earlier in the season, he'd make one read and take off running. Now we see him checking down to his 2nd, 3rd option.
This is Smith again, picking up 4 yards, almost 5 on first down. Robinson, the outside linebacker, had 5 tackles 2 weeks ago in the loss here at Byrd Stadium to Clemson, makes the play. They'll swap Smith out, and here's Prince Tyson Gully in the ball game. The great benefit for offensive coordinator George McDonald and head coach Scott Schaefer is the ability to literally almost change gears with these guys. And Hunt will keep it this time. First down for Syracuse, diving to the 43-yard line of Maryland ahead of Andre Monroe's tackle.
And that's really the big key with Terrell Hunt, what he brings to the football game. He's gotten better. He's had his ups and downs throwing the football, but the option to run the ball, especially in the red zone for Syracuse, has been vital this season.
Prince Tyson Gully, of course, the faster of the 2 backs, and a quick snap by the Orange, and another procedure call. 2nd penalty.
After the snap. False start. Offense number 60. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That is Sean Hickey, the left tackle. Terrell Hunt's already hit 2 passes, and he's carried the ball. He's got 23 yards of total offense already.
Well, Wes, we talked in the keys of the game for Syracuse, his first down success. We saw so often last week against Wake Forest, Syracuse was penalized on first down, and it killed so many drives starting 1st and 15, 1st and 20.
Now Hunt moves his tight end around. It's Josh Parris, 89, and then Esteem into the slot on the left side. And here is Prince Tyson Gully trying to get to the right. And is able to dig out a yard or 2 toward the Maryland 45-yard line. The Turps gang tackle. Abner Logan, who had 15 tackles 2 weeks ago. Quentin Jefferson, the defensive end, make the play. And so now, 2nd and long, and Randy Edsall's team here on the first possession has seen Syracuse get into plus territory. And, of course, Edsall is a former quarterback for Syracuse. Here's Jerome Smith. Took the first hit, drives it another yard or 2 inside the Maryland 40-yard line before Logan makes the tackle.
And talking to Maryland's defensive coaching staff yesterday, said it's so important with this running back duo. You've got to get these guys running east and west. When they square their shoulders to the field, they are so dangerous.
So now 3rd down on the year. Syracuse 9th in the league, 87th nationally, 37%, but under 28% against the ACC. 2-by-3 look, and Hunt to throw. Zips it, and that is Beckett Wales, the tight end, or beg your pardon, Gerard West. He'll be a yard or 2 short of the first down, just inside the 35. So Jared West could not pick up the necessary yardage.
And immediately, Syracuse empties the backfield, but you could see Maryland had 2 linebackers spying on Terrell Hunt. So many times on 3rd down, Syracuse has picked up the first down on the legs of Terrell Hunt.
Orange going to roll the dice here.
You know, look, they've got to win. They've got to win a couple ball games to get bowl eligible. They got to go for it here today. They're in good field position.
Cleveland and Smith in the eye behind Hunt. Jerome Smith took the first hit, driving through. First down, Syracuse. Wow.
And we talked about yards after contact, and that's what this big running back gives you.
Jerome Smith Smith, only listed at 226 pounds, plays a lot bigger behind the pads.
You cannot arm tackle this man. You have got to wrap him up and gang tackle to the football. Syracuse does a really nice job of blocking and getting to the second level.
First down and 10. The Orange with the ball at Maryland's 29. Another high set here with two tight ends. They'll hand it to Smith, right side. Boy, good play, Maryland out in space. Marcus Whitfield had a sack and 7 tackles 2 weeks ago. Makes the play, Jen, for Maryland.
Yeah, Maryland doing a better job that time on Jerome Smith, but that run prior to that, guys, I could see his feet kicking out in front of him after he broke through the initial group. He said the scouting report on him was that he was big and slow. I wouldn't believe that if I were you.
Nope. Here's Hunt. This is Brisley Esteem, 25. Esteem cuts back, breaking away at the 10, and finally knocked down at the 8 is Brisley Esteem. The true freshman from Delray Beach, brought down by Will Likely, another true freshman from Florida in the Maryland secondary.
Well, this is a great block downfield by the wide receiver Ashton Broyle, and then just poor tackling defensively for Maryland, and this certainly isn't the first case of it on this drive. See Ashton Broyle there with a nice block downfield, and Brisley Esteem continues to produce this offense, really an emerging playmaker.
Terrell Hunt, 4 of his first 4 for 41 yards, and it looked like there was some miscommunication there. Hunt might have stepped the wrong way. And Sean Petty, the former quarterback a year ago, makes the tackle on Smith behind the line. As Syracuse goes into the CPI security red zone for the first time today. 21 touchdowns in 32 opportunities. That's a 66% conversion rate for the Orange. Well, they were 3-by-3, and they flashed the tackle Foy out to the right. And here's Esteem with blockers in front and cannot break through. Matt Robinson, the outside linebacker in Maryland's 34, does a great job to get the play around on Esteem.
Well, this play looks great initially. Look at the nice blocking downfield, but Matt Robinson really does a nice job running down the football, takes the right angle, fights off a block, and stops the touchdown.
George McDonald's not one to dip into a lot of formations, but that's certainly the first time we've seen anything like that.
He has certainly got more creative. This was just a pound football team earlier in the season. Last week we thought we saw a double reverse pass for a touchdown.
Yep.
They're certainly opening up the playbook.
15th play of the drive now for Syracuse. And burning a lot of clock. Hunt flips it back. That is the tackle, Sean Hickey. And he'll be brought down. Did he hand the ball off? He did. He handed it to Trudeau, who then fumbled in the end zone. Syracuse has recovered, but I think they've ruled Rob Trudeau down at the 1. Look at all the big guys handling the rock.
I'll tell you, he said they were opening up the playbook. I didn't think they'd open it that far.
This is go to the Toyota, take a left, 2 steps, and flip it back to the next guy.
This is sandlot football. Look at the big man driving, and yeah, it doesn't.
The ball at the 1 for 4th and goal. Maryland leads the ACC in 4th down defense, but they gave up one earlier in this possession. This is 4th and goal. 16th play of the drive for Syracuse. The give is Smith. Touchdown Orange. Ninth rushing score of the year for Smith. And twice on 4th down, Syracuse answers the bell.
He had a fantastic all-around drive for Jerome Smith. No surprise here. 4th and 1. They're going to give it to their big man, who has just been running through tackles. Fantastic drive to start the ball game for Syracuse.
16 plays, 80 yards, 7 minutes, 54 seconds. Norton's point after is good. What an announcement by the Orange. Here on the road in the ACC, Scott Schaefer's team marches 80 yards, 16 plays, got some big plays on 4th down, and a lead early in College Park.
1-5, the Tar Heels have a chance to make it 3 in a row. And Virginia's quarterback David Walford, he rolls out, passes intercepted. Dominique Green to the house for the touchdown. 9:20 left in the 4th. It's now 45-14. Carolina will look to make it 4 in a row next week at Pittsburgh.
Well, Pittsburgh, Duke, and others left for Larry Fedora's team, trying to battle back after a rugged first half of their schedule. Well, what a statement by the Orange. 80 yards, 16 plays, 2 fourth-down conversions, including the 1-yard dive from Jerome Smith.
And we knew with very injured linebacker for Maryland, the test would be, can they stop Syracuse run attack? On that drive, the answer was no.
Yeah. A lot of it was running, although you mentioned this, Terrell Hunt did some very good things in his decision-making, let alone perfect passing.
He certainly did. And, you know, these coaches expected a roller coaster with Terrell Hunt this season. He's a first-year starting quarterback who didn't even start the season. He won the job mid-season.
He's 6 of 6 for 49 yards, just better than 8 yards an attempt. That's not bad for him.
Not at all.
Will Likely, the true freshman from Belgrade, Florida, waits on Ryan Norton's kick, but you see Norton has had to call on the receiver Alvin Cornelius to help out with an index finger. It is windy on this field turf playing surface here at Byrd Stadium. And Norton's kick is wobbly and fielded up at about the 15-yard line. Breaking back here to the near side and run out of bounds, I believe, is Laverne Jacobs, the wide receiver, and it is Jacobs. Chased out of bounds, so Maryland ends up with some decent field position. And C.J. Brown out of Cranberry Township, Pennsylvania. Didn't play 2 weeks ago against Clemson. Been banged up a little bit, but here to take the call today for Maryland.
The big question is how much are they going to allow C.J. Brown to run the football today? We'll find out soon.
Brandon Ross is the running back. And the first man through. Nope, this is the pitch, and here is Ross. Boy, he got mashed pretty good by Brandon Reddish, the corner. At about the 39-yard line, it'll be a gain of right at 6. 2nd and 4.
Now, Syracuse is a team that loves to blitz on almost every down. That makes it very difficult to play the option and know your option responsibility. So we expect a lot of option from Maryland today.
Quite a chess match here today with Chuck Bullough, the defensive coordinator, and Michael Oxley, the offensive coordinator of Maryland, and Brandon Ross breaks through to the Syracuse 46-yard line. Darrell Eskridge might have saved a touchdown there. 15-yard run, Brian.
Perfect execution here on the power play. It looked like Marquise Spruill got out of his gap. Brandon Ross hits the gap at full speed and capitalizes. Huge gain for Maryland.
2 fine running plays by the Turps here. And Brown looking to throw. Dumps it here to the near side. This is Goins, the fullback. That's 7 or 8 yards for Jeremy Wilkes. Jumped him out of bounds, and our Toyota key players for Maryland.
Well, we already highlighted Brandon Ross, fine-looking running back for Maryland. It's going to be key because they've got to run the ball successfully today with the injury to their big stars, Stephon Diggs and Deion Long. They've got to be in manageable position on 3rd down.
2nd down and 3. Brown to his right. Now going to shoot it out the flat point. Jacobs got racked up there. Rashard Anderson, the corner. Wasn't fooled at all on the read from C.J. Brown.
This is what they like to do with C.J. Brown. They like to not only give him options to run or pitch it, but also run or throw. And here, he hung his wide receiver out to dry. Anderson smashes.
Loss of 2 on the play. 3rd down and 5 now for Maryland.
This is an area where Maryland has really struggled all season long.
Only 25.5% against the ACC. 12th in the league and 105th national. Brown under duress. Dyshon Davis, the sack for Syracuse.
We told you Syracuse likes to blitz. They had a 3-man front, yet they brought 7. And Dyshon Davis comes free off the edge. Syracuse making a statement. They're going to go all out. Twice they've gone for it on 4th downs, and they blitzed almost every single play that series.
Loss of 15, almost 15 on the sack by Davis, which is his first full sack. Richie Desir will wait on the punt here of Nathan Renfro. Wobbly kick, Desir at the 11. Tried to get to the far side and only picks up 2, maybe 3 yards on the return. Abner Logan downfield for Maryland. Tell you what, Syracuse with an early lead in College Park. ACC College Football Saturday is brought to you by Cross-Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. By Direct Auto Insurance. And by Ford. Well, the beautiful campus of the University of Maryland here in College Park. 7-0 on this second Saturday in November. The Orange with the early lead, a long drive, and now Terrell Hunt, who is 6 of 6 for 49 yards of passing. And the offense gets the ball back. They had 49 yards of passing, 41 yards of rushing, and cashed in on 2 fourth downs on their opening drive. And Jerome Smith back to work on the first carry. A couple of yards, but Maryland had some momentum, Brian, until this.
Well, we talk about the blitzes that Syracuse likes to run. They're going to attack this left tackle, and you're going to see Dyshawn Davis come free off the edge, and C.J. Brown has got to recognize this and get rid of the football. With his 2 #1 receivers out of the football game, there's no one that scares Syracuse in a man-to-man situation right now.
Smith trying to get the cutback. Maryland is butting that up pretty good. After the first possession, Abner Logan, Marcus Whitfield, the linebackers, make the stop for the Turps. So now 3rd and 7 or so here for Syracuse to convert. And you see Smith goes out of the ball game. Devontae McFarland comes in. Put West to the bottom of your screen. And then 2 receivers to the top of the formation. Hunt looks to throw. Shoots it down the field. It's caught. Ashton Broyle, first down, Syracuse. Broyle hauls it in front of Alvin Hill to the 41-yard line. It's a 28-yard throw.
We talk about the progression of Terrell Hunt. Watch his eyes here. He's looking to the right, back to left. Patiently allows Broyle to get in the open.
And Hunt will keep it on first down. Syracuse is trying to drive a little tempo here on Maryland. Hunt is 7 of 7 for 72 yards.
Well, I like what they're doing, and you can see the progression. He's reading more than just one read taken off. He's going through his progression, and the tempo certainly helped him last week against Wake Forest.
McFarland in the ball game. He's to the left of Hunt. Devontae McFarland been banged up the last couple of weeks. Had 95 yards in the ball game against Clemson earlier this year. He'll get the carry here, trying to work to the near side. Picks up a couple. Zeke Reiser, transfer from Houston as a grad student here in Maryland. Helps out on the tackle.
Interesting to see the old quarterback Sean Petty in on the tackle, not playing linebacker.
A year ago, he started for Maryland here at College Park against Georgia Tech at quarterback. And he's come full circle back to his intended spot of linebacker. 3rd down and 6 now for the Orange. Hunt takes a shot. West is there. Can't come up with it. Went out of bounds under the coverage of Isaac Goins at the corner. And Syracuse will punt with Riley Dixon, 3rd in the ACC in average. Syracuse just 11th in net, though, at 37 yards. Will Likely has become a dangerous return man, averaging just under 9 yards. Only 8 returns, though, for Likely. He has been a burner on kicks, though. He's in the nation's top 10, and he leads the ACC in kickoff return average. Here's the punt by Dixon. Likely to signal for and make the fair catch. Just a 35-yard punt. Couple minutes to go in this opening period. It's a blackout at College Park. The Turps behind the Orange, 7-0. Syracuse 7, Maryland nothing. Welcome back to Byrd Stadium with Brian Stan, Jen Hilger. Rest of our home bananas for Maryland. That's a good look.
That's a new one.
Here are the Terps, second possession, and C.J. Brown on the keep to the far side, and Eskridge will pull him down at the 25. Toyota key players for Syracuse on defense.
Well, you just saw one of them, Darrell Eskridge, who was just fantastic out of that free safety position. And Marquise Spruill, we continue to say this man's name, and Jay Bromley, the big man, 296 pounds in the middle of the field. We wondered how much they were going to run the ball with C.J. Brown. They've answered that question. Yep.
Now Goins and Ross to either side of Brown for second down. Slant route. And the ball caught. That's Nigel King, the redshirt sophomore from Raleigh, North Carolina, picking up the Maryland first down. He had 5 catches, 76 yards, and a touchdown 2 weeks ago against Clemson. And that was their first ball game without Diggs and Long. And that could be a mental grenade as much as anything for a team that relies on two guys as much as they relied on those guys.
Oh, certainly. They were a big play offense, and those were their two big playmakers.
Here's Brown on 1st and 10. Another throw, middle of the field. King, another great catch. Wow. Brown spun that one down the field, 28 yards to Nigel King.
Well, they're showcasing their depth here. First, it starts with the protection. There's Welsh getting in there. C.J. Brown calmly delivers one right on target to Nigel King. And Darius Kelly makes him pay for it, but Maryland's showing off their depth at receiver right now.
Wow, there's Spruill making a play behind the line. So all of a sudden, big plays both sides. That's a 4-yard loss on the play by Marquise Spruill, the linebacker.
Well, this is what Spruill gives you. He can read the plays so quickly. He's coming in on a blitz there and takes a nice angle to tackle running back Brandon Ross.
Brown is 4 for 4. Albert Reed has come in the ball game in the inverted wishbone look here. Diamond is, sometimes it's the way it's referred to in other programs. Here's Brown on the pitch. Coming near side is Brandon Ross. 3, maybe 4 yards on the play. Darrell Eskridge, Richie Desir, the safeties for Syracuse over the top.
Well, this is a huge hit here taken by C.J. Brown. I know Maryland coaching staff actually calculates how many hits he takes, but they're going to continue to run this option because it keeps Syracuse defense honest, and they think it will limit the amount of times they blitz.
Ross and Goins now with Brown. And 3 receivers in the set here. 3rd down and 7 for Maryland. Brown to throw. And off the hands of Edoatawa.
Well, nothing will frustrate a quarterback more than that. Perfectly thrown football, and sometimes those are the most difficult to catch. You got to get your hands out in front of you and catch that football. You cannot let it hit your pads.
Oh, neither guy happened. First incomplete pass of the day for Brown. 4th down, and Maryland's going for it. And now, timeout taken by Syracuse. Scott Schaefer
Syracuse
burns one here with
30-second timeout.
just 23 seconds left to go in this first quarter. Well, the ACC, things have changed dramatically for this conference as a result of Thursday night. Yep. You got to have some friends on the West Coast help you out from time to time, and Stanford did that. Boy, what a ball game for Gaffney. Coach Shaw, the Cardinal, beat Oregon 26-20. How about Gaffney? 45 carries. 45, Brian.
Such a physical football game, and they just beat up Oregon.
And Baylor, of course, beat Oklahoma. Now tonight, Alabama, LSU. Alabama won, of course, in the BCS. And later tonight, Virginia Tech, Miami. The Canes, despite the loss of Tallahassee, 11th in the BCS standings. Florida State, the Noles won earlier today in Winston-Salem convincingly to go to 9-0 and 7-0 in the ACC. 4th down out of the timeout. Brown a long count. And he'll throw. And it's caught. Going out of bounds at the 25. Edoatawa hauls it in with Brandon Reddish hanging all over it. What a great catch.
You know, it started with protection. C.J. Brown gets the right protection call. They pick up the Syracuse blitz, and you go right back to the guy who just dropped a pass right off his chest. Well, he makes the difficult catch. Fantastic concentration. He caught that ball as he was falling out of bounds.
Fresh set of downs for Maryland at the 25. And here's Brown on the keeper to the far side and dives after about a 6-yard gain ahead of Dyshawn Davis, the linebacker. Jeremy Wilkes, the strong safety, was also coming up in play. Run support. That'll bring us to the end of period number 1 here at College Park. Boy, it's been a physical football game. Hard running, big hits, and the Orange have the only marker so far at College Park. Maryland nothing as we rejoin you from College Park. How about the 4th down conversions? All the other stuff aside, 3 for 3 on 4th down, huh?
Unbelievable. We talk about how important this football game was to both coaches. That stat right there tells you.
Second down for Maryland as we go to quarter 2. Maryland's outscoring opponents 80-58 in this quarter during the course of the season. And Ross is hit by Marquise Sproul behind the line. Boy, the Syracuse linebackers, Dyshawn Davis, Marquise Sproul, take your pick, have made big plays early.
Look how quickly Marquise Sproul diagnoses that play, makes the read, hits his gap, comes in clean. Doesn't even give a chance to freshman tackle Moise LaRose to get his hands on.
Loss of 5. 3rd and 8. Tight end right, 3 receivers all the way to the left side now for C.J. Brown. And he'll throw, pressure coming. Fly ball into center field, and oh my goodness, King almost came up with it. Wayne Morgan was back there as the nickel, and Brown, did he cut it loose off his back foot?
He cuts it loose off his back foot. Actually throws a very nice ball here. Take a look at this touch.
Wow.
Wayne Morgan does a nice job getting his hand up there in the end and preventing a touchdown. But again, we talk about key for the game for Maryland. They've got to handle the pressure of Syracuse. So far, they have not.
Brad Craddock, 15 of 18 on the year, longest 50 against West Virginia and Baltimore. This will be 42 yards to try and get Maryland on the board. Kick is away from Craddock, and it's no good. Off to the left. So Syracuse holds, and the Orange still leads 7-0 at College Park.
Earlier today, they'll be repping the Atlantic. As far as the Coastal goes, it's anybody's ball game. One of the teams still in the mix, the Duke Blue Devils. Anthony Boone on the opening drive, hooking up 75 yards with Jamison Crowder. Boone would run it in for a touchdown next play. 7-0 early, Blue Devils, fellas.
All right, Hans, thanks very much. Big ball game in the Coastal for the Duke Blue Devils. David Cutcliffe's team, of course, 6-2 and 2-2 still in ACC play. Syracuse takes over at the 24 after the missed field goal. And here's Hunt. And Terrell Hunt will get a first down all the way out to the 36-yard line. Abner Logan made the play.
Just a nice play call here. The fake seals the outside edge for him.
12-yard run by Hunt. Continues his fine afternoon. Pass off the hands of Brisby Esteem. Was pretty hot on the route. And Sean Davis, the safety, buckled down on Brisby Esteem. Well, this is, Brian, you hit the nail on the head earlier. These are two teams trying to get to the postseason. A lot of fourth down chances early in this ball game. This is a fast, physical football game here so far. Oh, it's brutal. The weather's getting a little bit colder. You know you're getting close for the end of the season. Teams are hungry. Flag on the play. Here's Smith. Trying to sweep around to the right side. And it's out of bounds at the 40. We'll see if the play stands as Davis angled him out. Our Ram Truck Power highlight, Jerome Smith. Pretty appropriate, as you can see. Every time he gets tackled, there's 2 or 3 guys hanging on him. Of course, he's got the touchdown. Here's Brad Allen. Illegal formation. 3rd penalty against Syracuse. All of them have been procedure penalties. We saw this last week against Wake Forest. These types of penalties crush this offense. The unforced error has really, really hurt the Orange at times. Hunt going to empty the backfield. 5 receivers in the backfield. He'll try and find a gap. And finds a good bit of that. Back across the 40 to the 41 before A.J. Hindy comes up to make the stop for Maryland. Again, not great speed, but very instinctive. Certainly, and this is a nice call. Last time they went empty a backfield, Maryland left 2 linebackers in the middle to spy on Hunt. On this one, they emptied the backfield. They were in man coverage. Terrell Hunt sees that, calls up the draw. 3rd down and 5 for the Orange. 1 for 4 on third down is Syracuse. That's Brisley Esteem in motion. Now timeout taken. Scott Schaefer got right to the head linesman.
Timeout. Syracuse. 30 seconds. Their second.
So a quick visit with his offense here.
Obviously didn't like something that he saw. It looked like Maryland was showing blitz and man coverage.
Well, the interesting thing, Syracuse here regroups. This will be a big third down. Next Saturday, we're out to Alumni Stadium in Chestnut Hill, Massachusetts. Andre Williams and the Boston College Eagles welcome Shadrach Thornton and North Carolina State. The Eagles in pack, 12:30 from Chestnut Hill in suburban Boston. And, of course, the ACC's leading rusher and one of the best in the country is Andre Williams. 1,100 yards.
Chasing a school record,
Yeah.
single season record.
Of course, 166 and 2 scores last week against Virginia Tech. And we saw a very disappointing Boston College loss at Chapel Hill. They bounced back, go home, beat Virginia Tech.
They are a different team at home this season. It's an incredible difference.
They lost Cruces, New Mexico today. Non-conference win against New Mexico State. Hunt across the middle and off the hands of Esteem. So Terrell Hunt misfires. Now on fourth down, Riley Dixon will punt.
This is the difference in this series. They've been able to get some pressure on Terrell Hunt. It's going to be very important. Young quarterback doesn't handle it so well. Big stop there by Maryland's defense.
Will likely to return. Riley Dixon, redshirt sophomore, Blossville, New York. Low punt to Likely's right. Will field it on the block. 25, 30. Will Likely 35, and then dumped over by Wayne Morgan. At the 36. 42-yard punt. Timeout at College Park. See College Football Saturday is brought to you by the official corporate champions of the ACC. By BB&T. By Food Lion. By Geico. And by Toyota. Well, 7-0 Syracuse as we rejoin you from College Park, Maryland. And the salute to service here at Byrd Stadium today. Veterans Day coming up on Monday, and a special time for recognition for not only those in service, but those who have served, like Captain Stan up here. Here's Brown. Way out of bounds, firing complete. Important to remember those servicemen and servicewomen that have fought for the freedom of this country. We do each and every year at this time, Brian. Thanks to you and thanks to those that worked with you.
Yeah, we certainly appreciate it, and it's great to see across the country all these games giving credit to servicemen. Fantastic time of year.
Second down and 10 here for Maryland. Boy, a bucket of formations already on Mike Loxley's offense here in this first half. Now trying to break away. Boy, the Orange handled it well that time. Robert Welsh, the defensive end, played well last week against Wake Forest. Comes up big there. Boy, Brown just makes so much of a difference, doesn't he?
He really does. He can attack the perimeter both with his arm strength and his athleticism, and we've already seen him run the football. We wondered how he was going to do coming back from injury. I mean, every single throw is on the money. His only incompletion was a drop and a very nice pass to the end zone that Nigel King couldn't come down with.
Yeah, 3rd and 8 for Maryland. They're 0 for 3 today on third down. Out in the flat, here's Ross. And look at Bromley cover the ground and go get him at the 40-yard line. Boy, Jade Bromley is a 285, 290-pound defensive tackle making that play.
And that's the key. With this Syracuse defense, they're big, but it's so key they can run sideline to sideline. And Maryland on offense continues to struggle to pick up the pressure.
Dyson Davis got in there. Look at the big fella.
They throw it out to Ross. The problem is freshman Moise LaRose, their freshman left tackle, just couldn't get out there in time to make the block and spring him free.
So Renfro will punt. Richie Desir will wait for Syracuse here. It's a wobbly kick. Desir might have a return. Off the 22. First down missed, and we pick up 5 or 6 yards, and then a flag thrown in. Well, it's usually in the neighborhood of blocking the back. Sean Davis was the guy to make the play for Maryland on punt cover. With just better than 4 minutes gone here in the second quarter, Brad Allen and his crew will sort it out for us.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 29 on the return team. Spot foul, 10 yards. First down.
And the wind starting to whip around on the surface of Capital One Field. 7-0 Syracuse. 4 penalties here in this first half. 7-0. The temperature dropping, the wind picking up here at College Park. And the Orange will play off its 18 when we get back to the action here. Terrell Hunt, 7 of 10 passing, 72 yards. This is Jerome Smith, who's been the other playmaker for the Orange. A yard or two there on first down, Jen.
Wes, you guys talked about the fact that Sean Petty is in there at linebacker for Maryland, a guy who had to come in last year and start at quarterback. In fact, his last start was the season finale last year at quarterback. Threw for over 200 yards, by the way. But Sean did decide, the Maryland coaches gave him the choice whether he wanted to continue to try to work for that quarterback spot or whether he wanted to stay on defense. And he said, you know, his first love was quarterback, but it was a lot of work, and he wanted to come back and do defense. Now, he's got his work cut out for him today, though, because as Randy Edsall said, that Syracuse team over there is going to run right at he and freshman Abner Logan, 2 guys, number 2 on the depth chart, but having to start today at linebacker because of all the injuries Maryland has.
Well, and another one just shaken up, and Matt Robinson, who comes off the field under his own power, and that's good news for Randy Edsall. A year ago, Brian decimated at quarterback. Seemingly linebacker is the spot this year where Edsall's team is really had their depth cave in on.
And what a time, what a team to play when you're having struggles in the linebacking corps going against a physical football team like Syracuse.
High formation. Here's Jerome Smith again. Taking guys with it. Picks up a handful more on the carry. That's his 12th already in this first half for 41 yards. Kayvon Walker, true freshman from Washington, D.C. So now 3rd and short for Syracuse. They are one of their first 5 on 3rd down today.
But this is the area where they are so much more successful when they get into manageable 3rd downs without any penalties on the drive.
And this is George Morris making the first down run to the right side. Redshirt freshman, Lawrenceville, Georgia. And that's the first down for Syracuse in terms of a 3rd down conversion, and Morris's first carry.
Look at the push the offensive line is getting. The first guy to hit the running back is cornerback William Likely. That's normally good on third and 2 situations.
Yeah. 6th ball game of the year for Morris, by the way. Battling injury, just his 27th carry. He'll get another look here, and he breaks free. Morris across midfield to the Maryland 45. There, Sean Davis makes the play, but boy, Morris has given him a lift off the bench. 23-yard run there.
Certainly, he's showing good speed, but mostly vision. Look how he notices that cutback lane there. It hits the gap. And again, Maryland continues to have poor tackling. That's led to some big gains by Syracuse offense.
The Orange step up the tempo again. 2 carries, 30 yards for Morris. He'll get it a 3rd time. Works to the right side. And another first down. 12-yard run before Logan, the redshirt freshman at linebacker that Jen spoke of a moment ago, makes the play. And all of a sudden, Syracuse is getting it from Jerome Smith and now George Morris II from just outside of Atlanta.
Well, in the replay, you could see that these guys are struggling to get off blocks of this offensive line. And again, it's one missed tackle, and they're getting gashed for 8 or 9 yards.
Jerome Smith's come back at the running back spot behind the fullback Cleveland. And Smith fumbled the ball, and Maryland's recovered. Alex Twine, the linebacker, recovers the loose ball. And the Turps hold off another threat. Reiser, the defensive end, knocked it away.
Huge play by Maryland's defense as Andre Monroe knocks the ball out of Jerome Smith's arm there. We said one of the keys to the game was winning the turnover battle, and Maryland came up with a big one there.
So the first turnover of the ball game benefits Maryland. as it looked like Syracuse was really starting to build some momentum running the ball.
They certainly were.
So the fumble sends it back to the Turps. And Maryland plays from its 36. Here's Brown. This is Albert Reed. And spun away from the first guy. And that was Cameron Lynch, the first guy in the backfield, but then his teammates got there with Bromley leading the way. Loss of 2.
Syracuse continues to blitz. And one of the things Syracuse does is they run a lot of zone blitzes, which are actually designed not to sack the quarterback, but to stop the run. And they're going to continue to do it until this Maryland offensive line figures it out and start blocking.
2nd and 12, and Brown looking to throw. Under duress and offline for Laverne Jacobs. Micah Robinson, the defensive end, 93, was the guy applying the pressure. Brian, Syracuse has had great success with their front 7 today, bothering C.J. Brown.
And on this particular play, they only rushed 4, but it's actually a very nice stunt by the defensive line. We talk about injuries for Maryland. Well, their left tackle actually left the program, and they're starting a freshman left tackle, and he is struggling with it.
Well, Mike Medeiros left football a couple of weeks ago. Now 3rd and 12. Maryland's 0 for 4 on 3rd down. Brown swings it for King here on the near side. Breaks away. 1st down, Nigel King. He got away from Darrell Eskridge, the free safety. And Nigel King's been the playmaker in the receiving game here in the first half for the Turps.
With their big playmakers out, they need some people to step up, and Nigel King certainly has. You don't see Eskridge miss many tackles.
Turps needed 12. They got 14 on the completion from Brown to King.
And it really started with C.J. Brown having time to deliver an accurate pass.
1st and 10 from Maryland. Playing at its 48. Brown 7 of 11 for 67 yards. And here's Albert Reed. Picking up 4 or 5 yards on 1st down.
I talked to offensive coordinator Mike Locksley. He said it's so important for us to be able to run the ball effectively in this football game. We've got to gash them on the blitz in the run game, limit how much they can blitz, because if we're effective in the run game, it'll open up some of our opportunities in the perimeter. So far, they've really had to rely on throwing the football to get 1st downs.
High formation. Goins has come into the ball game ahead of Reed. And Albert Reed will get the handoff here. And a marker going to be thrown in. That'll be a face mask against Syracuse. Ron Thompson, the defensive end, I think, got Reed there. He was close to a 1st down, and if this penalty stands, it will be a 1st down.
Personal foul. Grasping the face mask. Defense. 15-yard penalty. Automatic 1st down.
Fifth penalty of the first half on the Orange.
Well, one of the things we talked to Maryland's coaching staff, they said, is Syracuse sometimes over-pursues on plays. So when you run some zone runs or misdirections at them, you can find some success. It's exactly what Maryland's been able to do now with their running game. They're starting to find a rushing attack now.
Syracuse toward the bottom of the league in penalty yardage. Already reached the better than halfway point in this first half of what they average for a ball game. There's Reed. A couple of yards. Before Zen Jones, the senior from Los Angeles, transferred from West Los Angeles Community College a couple of years ago, makes a play. He's got a dozen tackles, but at 311 pounds, big 77 holds the point in there for Syracuse. Plays right over the top of the center. Does Jones. And here's Brown, a little speed option look. And C.J. Brown pitches it. Reed had it go off his hands and out of bounds. It'll stay with Maryland, but cost the Turps a couple of yards, and Cameron Lynch was the guy flying through the air. Another one of those Syracuse linebackers.
Backward pass, out of bounds. Backward pass, out of bounds. 3rd down.
Well, it looked like C.J. Brown was going to keep it, but Cameron Lynch did a fantastic job of pursuing the play. We've talked about how physical these linebackers are, and they're showcasing their running ability as well.
3rd and the full 10 here for Maryland. Ball spotted at the Orange 28-yard line. Brown's got Reed and Goins in the backfield with him. Pumps and throws. Middle of the field. Intercepted. Darrell Eskridge in the end zone. His 3rd of the year. Etowatawa was the intended receiver, and Darrell Eskridge comes up with another big play for the Orange secondary. Brown throws his 4th pick of the year. SEC College Football Saturday is brought to you by Bleppy and by Ram Trucks. College Park, Maryland, the leaves have turned. And the calendar's moved to November, and the games have a little more to them now than every game's important to you coaches and players. I'll tell you, everything. To this stage of the season where you're 4-4 like Syracuse, you're 5-3 Maryland, and you want the postseason trip, boy, they get big.
And you could feel it having conversations with both coaching staffs. There's a sense of urgency on both of these sidelines.
George Morris with 42 yards on 3 carries in the ball game at running back. Play action, Terrell Hunt. Hunt looks, now going to tuck it and shoot it out in the flat. And it's Cleveland, his fullback. Up the far side and knocked out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Brian, you mentioned it at the top. Read progressions by Terrell Hunt. We watched him grow up from his first start in late September.
We certainly have. He wants to go downfield. He realizes he doesn't have it, pulls it down, and has the awareness to dump it off to Cleveland. Phenomenal play there by Terrell Hunt.
19-yard play. First catch of the day for Cleveland, and here is Morris. Look at the hard running by George Morris, the second. And he'll go out of bounds after about 7 yards. Twine and Hindi make the play for Maryland.
On that last possession, C.J. Brown is going to stare down these receivers. He's trying to look off the free safety, Darrell Eskridge. We talk about how good Eskridge is. Watching this play as it progresses, he sees the eyes. He sees C.J. Brown switches, look, gets over top, attacks the ball at its highest point. Nice play there by Darrell Eskridge and a key turnover to stop Maryland.
While we were looking at the pick by Eskridge, Brad Allen's crew called Syracuse for their 6th penalty of this first half on a clip. Ooh. That is a big one, pushing the Orange back to their 26-yard line. So first down and 23 now for Syracuse. Jerome Smith back in the ball game. Hunt, a deep drop. Firing downfield, West. Oh, did he haul it in? No, out of bounds. Oh. It looked like Jared West had made the catch of the day. How about this?
This is good coverage by Isaac Goings, but Jared West stretches, just can't come down with it. Almost looks like Jared West started to backpedal a little too soon on that route. Didn't allow himself the opportunity to jump up.
The play is under review. The ruling on the field is an incompletion. What an unbelievable catch by West.
We'll take a look at the replay. Nice throw from Terrell Hunt. He puts it where his receiver can get it. Hard to see from this angle if he has it as that left foot comes down inbounds.
Well, it may be a question of the ball and the left foot. Foot down, ball in hand, out of bounds. Remember, 1 in the college game, 2 at the next level.
Does the ball move at all once he hits the turf? We can't see from our angle.
This may be the best look, Brian. Ball in the hand.
The foot's down inbounds. No question. If we could see closer, I wonder if that ball moves at all in his hands as he's falling down out of bounds. That would be the question. If this is a completion, this would be the 2nd week in a row Gerard West has come down with a huge catch.
Right. A week ago against Wake Forest. Brad Allen and his group continue their visit. And here's the summary.
After further review, there is control with 1 foot in bounds by the receiving team. The ball will be placed at the 41-yard line on the right hash mark. It will be first down. The game clock will start on my signal.
How about this? On 1st and 23, he throws for 34.
Those were situations we considered drive killers for this team, Syracuse, earlier in the season. They've lacked a perimeter threat, a deep threat all season long. Gerard West has really started to step up for this football team the last 2 weeks.
Measured now 36 yards and a first down. Oh, what a big play for Terrell Hunt, who's enjoying a fine day passing the ball. 9 of 12, 9 of 13 down the ball. Here's Hunt, slant route, intercepted likely. Will Likely on a ball intended for Ashton Broyle, and the first career interception for Likely out of Belgrade Central in Florida. Boy, Hunt lives sky high on one play, and then Likely just beats Bull to the football.
And that is a fit. I'll tell you what a break on the ball Likely makes here. Cuts in front of the receiver. Great catch. There was no secret where Terrell Hunt wanted to go with that football. He stared down Ashton Broyle the whole time and Likely read it.
Second turnover in as many possessions for the Orange of Scott Schaefer.
The ruling on the field is an interception by the defense. The play is under further review.
Hunt now 9 of 13, 124, and the interception.
And they're going to take a look if Likely bobbled at all on his way down to the turf.
Hard to tell from that angle. Maybe a better look here. Looks like he's still got his right arm under. Oh.
Looks like he still has his arm under the ball there as he dragged it down.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
Yeah. I think you're right, Brian. The right arm still holds the football.
And Likely shows off his athleticism. He leads the ACC in kick return yardage. What a break on the ball, and he shows he's got some hands, too.
First career interception. We were here at the start of the season and visiting with Randy Edsel. They Will Likely. They liked him enough to play big on opening day. Here's Brown out of the backfield, and that's Steinball, the tight end, returning to action this week after missing the Clemson game a couple of weeks ago. Sproul runs him out of bounds. But Likely was a guy they just saw a lot of athleticism.
He showcased it on that interception. Not many guys can make a break on the ball that quick.
Second down, 5. Under 5 to play in this first half. The opening drive by the Orange, still the difference in the ball game. Brown gets it to the far side. Laverne Jacobs pulled down shy of the 40-yard line by Darius Kelly. Junior college transfer from Sierra Vista, Arizona. It's a long way on the map from Sierra Vista, Arizona to Syracuse, New York.
Well, Laverne Jacobs is a guy who had a huge game against Clemson as well, and they said he's got a lot of the same qualities that Stephon Diggs, their leading receiver from last year, has. He's got that quickness in space.
Big game might be an understatement. 8 for 158 to score. Maryland's 1 of 6 today on third down. Still struggling with that down. Here's Brown. Keep it. First down. Brown breaking free. Across midfield to the Orange 48 before Kelly makes the stop. 12-yard run. Second third down conversion of the day for Maryland.
You said it. They're struggling on third down. I love the play call. They add motion, misdirection. Fantastic block there by number 76. And Kelly luckily makes this tackle, or else C.J. Brown is still running.
Maryland quickly to the football. Brown brings Jacobs again in motion. Pressure coming. Loops middle of the field. Jacobs is there, and Davis wraps him up and drops it. Dyshawn Davis at the 41-yard line. It'll be a 7-yard gain. Second down and 3. Boy, Laverne Jacobs now all of a sudden starting to make some plays for the Turps of Randy Edsel.
And Mike Loxley starting to open up the playbook a little bit for Maryland. He's dialing up some nice plays in response to all this blitzing by Syracuse. A middle screen called directly when Syracuse blitzes. Nice play.
Brown 10 of 15, 83 yards. Here's Brandon Ross. That'll be a first down for Maryland as he works toward the 36 of Syracuse. So as we go toward 3 minutes, Jim, the Terps trying to build a threat here before the half.
Right, Wes, and this drive started with that interception by Will Likely, and we talked to Brian Stewart, the defensive coordinator this week. He said he spent some extra time with Likely during the bye week. He said the bye was tremendous because it allowed the game to slow down. He felt Likely had plateaued a little bit. I'd say he maybe jumped over that plateau in that last one.
First career interception for Likely. Brown on the speed option, and Brandon Ross got turned around by Darius Kelly. When we talk about Syracuse's front, the secondary's helped a little bit today in run support. Darius Kelly's been a big part of that.
certainly has. You know, he's one of those guys who takes advantage of the play time that he gets. You know, he plays behind Darrell Eskridge, star free safety for Syracuse. He's getting some playing time here and certainly making it count.
Good tackle behind the line today for the Orange. Brown to throw. And picked off. Wiggum. Julian Wiggum's third interception of the year. The ball got fumbled, and then Jeremy Wilkes fell on it, and Maryland has turned it over for a second time. Third pick of the year for Wiggum. Eskridge had his third earlier, and look at that play.
Another nice break on the ball. Julian Wiggum, the youngster who dropped an interception last week against Wake Forest, makes a big play there. C.J. Brown twice now has been picked off where he's attempting to look off the Syracuse defensive backs. He's looking one way, coming back the other way, and immediately delivering the football. Looks like he's rushing that decision right now. Been picked off in both the last drives.
Each of the last two possessions by both schools have ended in turnover. 4 combined turnovers in the last 4 possessions of the ball game. First down give is to Smith.
And that's a huge turnover going into the second half here. They could have tried to tie up the game or at least get on the scoreboard for Maryland's offense.
And they get the ball to start the second half, does Maryland. But I think it speaks to the stakes of the game that you mentioned earlier. Here's Paris, the tight end, trying to fight for a yard or two.
Complete to 89.
Well, it certainly does. We've seen both offenses start to open up the playbook, but all these players are taking risks. You know, these guys, they're not going to bat the football down. They are going for the interception time and time again here.
Schaefer's only got 1 timeout left in this first half for Syracuse.
Third down, 6 yards.
See how aggressive the Orange get. They're 2 of 6. This is 3rd and a half dozen. 7-0 Syracuse. Hunt to throw. Middle of the field, Paris. Couldn't hang on. Dropped it. Shy of the 40. Matt Robinson, the linebacker, shaken up earlier, was there in coverage. So 3 and out go the Orange after the interception by Julian Wiggum. So it stays 7-0 as Dixon gets ready to punt, and Light stands near the 27-yard line for Maryland. Snap to Dixon. Likely from the 25. Broke away from the first guy. Heading to the far sideline, and Richie Desir downfield for Syracuse, along with Sam Rogers, the long snapper, to make the play for the Orange, Jen.
Well, if you thought that Brian went completely off the deep end last week when he let the Syracuse field hockey team take some shots at him, we both went off this week. Yes, the Maryland gymnastics team invited us to come train, I guess you could say, with them. Now, they were number 14 in the country last year. They look terrific. Brian and I, well, we get some points for trying, right? I mean, I almost passed out after my first tumbling series, which was somersaults, by the way. But we got to jump on trampolines. Brian, you did pretty well in that rope race. I think
what is this right here?
If I remember.
Yeah, what is this?
That was a flat-out race. She got 9 seconds. The Marine got 7.2, and we won.
Wait. She got 9 and the Marine got 7.2.
That's right. Veterans Day weekend, we won the rope climbing kind. If there's one thing I could do in a gymnastics gym, I could climb a rope. That's about it.
Jen, let me say this. I appreciate the effort. Oh, here again. Can we get the telestrator out on that? By the way, Jen, thank you very much for doing that. And I've never been so happy to have a basketball game. Second down and 10 after the Brown incomplete pass. Don't forget to use the hashtag ACC All Access for a visit to Boston College next Saturday at Chestnut Hill. For what the Crews should do. Marker down, and the ball in and out of the hands of Daniel Adams. And nearly intercepted over there. Rashard Anderson was in the neighborhood. And a procedure penalty from Brad Allen and his crew on Maryland. This half is kind of, that's Maryland's first penalty, by the way. This half's kind of wobbled a little bit. Syracuse, the big long drive to start the game. They went 80 yards, 16 plays.
Illegal formation foul, 5 players in the backfield on the offense. That penalty is declined. Third down.
80 yards, 16 plays, nearly 8 minutes, and they set the tone. But The game's wobbled a little bit since then. Don't forget, here's the hashtag ACC All Access, what our crew should do at Boston College next week. Look forward to being at Chestnut Hill. Beautiful time of year to see the Eagles and Wolfpack of NC State.
3rd and long, you know Syracuse is going to bring it. They're showing 3 up front, expecting to bring about 7.
Bruce Brown dropping back. It's a 4-man pressure. Bromley almost had him. Brown fires. Caught. Yes, middle of the field. And then fumbled away. Is that going to be a catch or an incomplete pass? Sproul fell on the loose ball. Edo Atao, the intended receiver. One official said incomplete. Coming from the far side in front of the Syracuse bench, ruled a fumble and a recovery. The on-field rule is a fumble and recovery.
Well, we talked about handling the pressure of Syracuse defense. Right now, Maryland is failing at that job.
It's under further review.
They go to review. Richie Desir made the hit. Sproul fell on the loose ball. Brian, this is close.
Certainly is. It looked like Editau just had possession of it right as it was knocked out. He's already got 1 drop on the day.
Well, you know the term everybody uses in a situation like this, right? Is that a football move? Does he collect the football, try to tuck it away, then the hit jar it loose?
Doesn't appear to be from that angle, but we'll see what the professionals have to say about it. But again, you know, Maryland loses their top 2 wide receivers. They're looking for some guys to step up. C.J. Brown's back there running for his life and delivers a ball on target. You've got to come down with this catch and move the chains for your football team.
That's a very interesting call on the review. Because of the, if you see it at full speed, we have the benefit of seeing it in slow motion. Here's Brad Allen.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. First down.
It is a catch and then a fumble. Sproul the recovery.
Right there, he pulls it in, and he moved his right foot and his left foot there slightly. And a huge hit there by Richie Desir right on the football.
So the 3rd straight turnover for Maryland is a fumble by Edo Atao. And now Syracuse on its 7th possession off the Maryland 38 now. 1 timeout left for Schaefer's team and 1:07 to play. And Jerome Smith, right side. 8, almost 9 yards on first down for Smith. Sean Davis, the safety. And Syracuse, as the clock goes under a minute, he is on the hustle.
You talk about something his safety doesn't want to see 10 yards downfield. A bust like Jerome Smith running straight at him. Nice tackle there by Sean Davis.
Time running off, but Syracuse only 1 timeout. Here's Smith again. And that'll be a first down. Clock will stop with 35 seconds left. And the Orange hop it up to the line. They still only got 1 timeout left. Schaefer's going to hold that card. Here's Jerome Smith behind good blocking inside the 20 to the 19. And now the timeout will be taken with 20 seconds left in this first half. So 7-0 Syracuse. And our second down play coming up here in a moment. Our direct auto insurance coverage of the game. The Syracuse defense here, Brian.
Now the first one is Daryl Eskridge. Makes a gorgeous read as a free safety. Comes up over top, attacks the ball high. And there's Julian Wiggum with his 3rd interception of the year. Nice break on the ball. And a lot of turnovers in the 2nd quarter.
Yeah, some intentional, some unintentional. And remember now, out of timeouts is the Orange with 20 seconds left. Leading 7-0. Full look at week 11 in the ACC coming up at the half as well.
And the fact that Syracuse is out of timeouts right now is the best news for this Maryland defense because they are struggling to stop the run. And with 20 seconds left, Syracuse is going to run the ball that much more.
All right, 20 seconds left. George McDonald. Terrell Hunt's had a pretty good half. He has thrown 1 pick, but he's 10 of 15 for 126. And he'll hand the ball to Jerome Smith. 15 seconds left. Now Syracuse got to get up to the line and spike it here.
Well, they're obviously playing for the field goal.
And there's the spike to stop the clock with 7 seconds left. 60 yards on 18 carries for Smith. Surprised they didn't throw there?
I was a little surprised. I expect him to at least take a shot or maybe run a trick play like they did last week against Wake Forest, but interceptions have been plaguing this entire second quarter, so Scott Schaefer decides to play it safe.
33-yard try for Ryan Norton on the year. 4 of 6, longest 34 against Wagner. And now a timeout for Randy Edsall.
Timeout. Maryland, their first. 30 seconds.
Maryland's got 2 more if they want to burn it. Here before the half. Well, the ball game started. Syracuse converted 2 fourth downs, the last on this opening drive. The touchdown run by Jerome Smith, 16 plays, 80 yards, 754. And since then, it's been turnovers.
It's been back and forth, and Syracuse has been able to move the ball effectively, especially on the ground. They've been hurting themselves with fumbles and interceptions. Interesting thing is, despite all the turnovers by Maryland's offense so far, 3.5, that they're only down 7-0. They're still well within striking range of this football game.
And 6 penalties on the Orange as well. And Maryland just the single penalty. All right, the only penalty they had was decline. So this is 34 yards for Norton. Charlie Loeb, the backup quarterback, will hold. Middle of the field for the sophomore from Garden City, New York. And there's another Maryland timeout. Norton went ahead with his mechanics.
Prior to the snap. Timeout. Maryland.
The kick was good.
It will be 30 seconds. 7 seconds on the game clock. Thank you.
Randy Edsall, I have every reason to believe he's got 1 more left. Why not call it, right?
If you got it, use it. And interesting, when we talked to Randy Edsall yesterday, he was so important to him to win the turnover battle this week. He said, if we're going to win this football game, we've got to handle their blitz and we've got to win the turnover battle. Thus far, certainly not the case. And talking to the offensive coordinator, Mike Locksley, said we were going to use a lot of tricks with C.J. Brown looking off this defensive backfield to Syracuse. So far, has not worked. When they've tried, they've rushed the throw when C.J. switches his vision and thrown 2 interceptions.
Edsall has 1 more if he chooses to use it. Standing right beside the line judge. Snap, spot, Norton's kick is good. He did not use the last time out, and with 3 seconds left in the first half, the 34-yard field goal by Norton makes it 10-0 in favor of Syracuse. And Ryan Norton has kicked his 5th field goal of the year in 7 tries. So while the Orange take a 10-point lead, we take a look at the ACC. Of course, last Saturday night, Florida State convincingly over Miami, Brian.
Well, I don't know if there's a team in the country that's playing as well as Florida State is in every phase of football.
Of course, Oregon lost Thursday night. That gives Florida State a chance to hold on to the 2 slot. And the BCS standings released tomorrow night.
And looking forward, Florida State, it appears that they control their own destiny. If they win out, they should be afforded the opportunity to play for that national championship football game. And I think every team in the country is afraid of them. I mean, they are not only playing well on offense, playing great on defense, special teams, the entire package.
The other issue there, Clemson at 7. If Florida State does run the table and go into the BCS, the Tigers, by virtue of their spot, if they were to continue their fine play, they've got Georgia Tech Thursday night at Frank Howard Field. If they continue their fine play, the ACC potentially could get 2 teams into the BCS, including 1 for the title game. Here's the kick. And likely on the return, which will be the final play of this first half. And that'll bring us to the end of the half. So the field goal by Norton with 3 seconds left made it a 10-0 lead for Syracuse. That long opening drive stands up for Jerome Smith in the Orange, and Jen visits with Randy Edsall.
Coach, that was quite a sequence for both teams at the turnovers. What were you saying to your team, and how do you get those cleaned up?
Well, you know, we're just killing ourselves. I mean, 3 turnovers, and we got the ball on the plus side of the field. It's tough to put points on the board when you do that. So what we've got to do is we got to stop beating ourselves, and we've got to make sure that we take care of the ball.
You said that you guys would have to handle Syracuse's pressure on defense. How do you feel that's affected your offense?
I think we're handling the pressure okay. It's just that we're not making plays. We're dropping balls and everything else. We're turning over. You can't win when you don't make plays. Plays are there to be made, but you got to make them.
Thank you, Coach. Les.
All right, Jen, thanks very much. And Randy Edsel's visit with us. The Terps at 5-3 have lost 2 straight. Syracuse has won 2 of 3 and leads by 10 at the break. ACC College Football Saturday is brought to you by Husqvarna, by Z-Max, by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. Well, we had big plays. Early, we had some big offensive plays by the Orange, but it turned into some turnovers. 5 of them combined ended this first half before Ryan Norton's field goal made it 10-0 Syracuse as we rejoin you from Byrd Stadium at College Park, Maryland with Brian Stan, Wes Durham. Jen Hildreth will join us here in just a moment. It was a pretty impressive opening drive by the Orange. After that, it got wobbly.
It certainly did. You know, they looked like they could run the ball successfully. Then they started shooting themselves in the foot, but they came out. Gorgeous drive. Here's Bristly, his team, puts a move on, breaks some tackles, and gets a huge first down to continue the drive for Syracuse. And Jerome Smith, the truck running through the middle, carrying 3 guys with him. Of course, on 4th and 2 on the goal line, they're going to give to him for the score. Great opening drive for Syracuse. Very physical, but then the turnover bug hit both teams. And here's TJ Brown. He tried to look off the safety, but Darrell Eskridge didn't fall for it. Jerome Smith with a fumble, returns a favor. Maryland gets the ball back. And then William Likely with a gorgeous interception and break on the ball, but C.J. Brown threw it away again. Julian Wiggum gets his 3rd of the day. And here, Syracuse defense knocks another one loose, and it was just turnover to turnover to turnover.
All right, Jen is with Syracuse head coach Scott Schaefer.
Coach, I saw you talking to Terrell Hunt after he threw his 2nd interception. What did you say to him?
Stay within yourself. Don't beat yourself up. Go to the next play. Simple as that.
I also noticed Prince Tyson Gully standing without a helmet. What's his status?
He's got an ankle sprain. So he's tender. We decided we'll go with the other guys, and Georgie came in and ran his little buns off.
Any keys to the second half?
Yeah, out tough him. We got out tough him in this thing. We got to understand it's bigger than just us. 76 years ago, Wilmot Sadat Singh didn't get to play out here. Our kids are playing the second half.
Thanks, Coach.
All right, Jen, thanks. Scott Schaefer, appreciate his comments as well. ACC College Football Saturday tonight from College Park, Maryland, presented by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer. And in the second half, we'll put a wrap on the story of Wilma Sadat Singh, honored here earlier today by the University of Maryland. And the Terps are going to get the ball to start the second half. An important second half of football for both these schools. Syracuse has won 2 of 3 and 4 of 6. Maryland's lost 2 straight and 3 of their last 4 after a 4-0 start to the season. And here is Norton to kick it away. Likely deep. They try and pin him. 5-6 yards deep, and Will Likely will touch a knee. And that's where the Terps will get started. C.J. Brown, Brian.
Well, he started the day off hot. You know, he was running the ball effectively, throwing it very accurate. Unfortunately, here we see some wide receivers making some plays, but later on in the second quarter, he had some drop passes. He tried to look off the defenders and quickly make decisions and threw a couple of picks as well. He's got to have a short mindset now. Come out here. This is a crucial drive for this offense. They've got to find a way to run the football, and he's got to heat up again on offense. And these wide receivers have got to stop dropping passes.
Maryland going to start from its 20 here. First down and 10. And working through to the near side is Brandon Ross. No gain on the play. The Orange with Jay Bromley, Marquis Sproul.
Look at the eyes of Marquis Sproul. They block and seal the edge on Cameron Lynch, but Sproul unblocked it to meet the running back there, makes a nice tackle.
Well, such an instinctive player as Sproul. Came in second on the team in tackles, just one stop behind Cameron Lynch's leading 45. And here's Ross on the counter from the gun. 7 yards, maybe 8, before Lynch makes the play. Lynch had 14 tackles at NC State. He had 5 a week ago against Wake Forest. He had a dozen in their loss at Georgia Tech. Ross has now got 32 yards on 9 carries for Maryland. And the Terps have 3rd and 2.
Well, you know, I like what they did there on second down. They brought a guy in motion. They ran the football from the shotgun, really trying to open up the Syracuse defense a little bit more so they can create some running lanes. When it comes to physical football, they're not able to match the Syracuse defense very well.
Brown brings Jacobs in motion. This is Jacobs on the little pinch. Working to the near side. First down, stays in bounds, and works his way toward the 43, 44-yard line before Wayne Morgan shoved him out of bounds. Laverne Jacobs is kind of the guy who's trying to fill the role for Diggs and Deion Long.
I'll tell you, look at the blocking here by Sal Conaway, number 65, the center. Helps Laverne Jacobs get the edge here. Nice play, and we talk about opening the playbook, opening up the formations here to create some running lanes. They're doing.
Emba Edewatawa with the catch. First down to the Syracuse 37-yard line. 19-yard throw to Edewatawa, the redshirt freshman from suburban Atlanta.
Tawa struggled a little bit in the first half. We'll see he dropped one pass, bobbled another that he eventually fumbled and coughed up to Syracuse. Big play there for him to get another first down.
Boy, Terps trying to get some offensive rhythm set here. Both Kenneth Goins and Brandon Ross now in the formation with Brown. And this will be Goins with the football. Or no, beg your pardon, Brown kept it. Ross. They had a misplay over there, but Ross able to fall on it before Brandon Reddish gets to it. Boy, great play on the mesh. And then Ross juggled it, but Syracuse almost came up with the 4th Maryland turnover.
Would have been crippling for this Maryland offense. They're already starting to build some confidence now with a nice drive going. Turn it over now could cripple them for the rest of the half.
Second down and 11. That's Jacobs in motion, and there is a fumble, and it's loose. The Orange picks it up, and Cameron Lynch has got the 4th Maryland turnover of the ball game. And Randy Edsel told Jen had to stay away from turnovers. They had 3 of them at the close of the first half, and now they've had 4 in 4 possessions.
You know, it just looks to me like C.J. Brown, he's trying to do so much. He's thinking about all kinds of different things, and the simplest of things, just the snap. Can't hold on to the football, and it gets kicked around, and another huge turnover for the Syracuse defense.
And now the Orange play from Maryland's 40, leading 10-0. Fourth turnover of the day.
And the other needs a bucket to stick him on his sidelines right now from his down.
Terrell Hunt's got Jerome Smith with him. And this is Jerome Smith. First down, 11-yard run to the 29. Davis and Hindy make the play in the secondary for Maryland. But Jerome Smith, 19 carries, 71 yards, and a touchdown today.
They've had so much success running the football on first down. You would think they'd actually have more points on the board, but turnovers and penalties have crushed the Syracuse offense in the first half.
Here's Ashton Boyle, another 10-yard play. Ends up being 12 total before Davis makes the play. Down to the 18 of Maryland. So back-to-back double-figure yardage plays.
And you're going to see a nice block here by number 20, Bristol Esteem. That allows Boyle to get upfield and gain yards to get the first down.
Blake Cleveland's coming at fullback. George Morris, the second, is the running back. And Hunt hands to Morris. And a yard, maybe 2 toward the 16. As Syracuse gets into the CPI security red zone. They're on their opening possession of half number 2. They've got points on each of their 2 chances here today. The opening drive of the ball game, the Smith touchdown run of a yard, and then Norton's 34-yard field goal at the close of the half, which equaled his season long, by the way. That's how we stand at 10-0. Pistol, and here's Smith. And Jerome Smith fights for about 6 yards. Keith Bowers, the junior defensive end, makes the play for Maryland. 20th carry of the ball game for Smith. You know, we've seen Syracuse enough to know that you get Smith, Gully, today Morris, potentially McFarland with Tyson Gully shaken up. These guys get to the fourth quarter. Man, they can close it on them.
Especially against a Maryland defense that's riddled with injuries in their linebacking core.
Here's Smith. Boy, got hit right on the butt. Marcus Whitfield, the linebacker, played that beautifully, Brian, for the Turps.
You know, this is something that Whitfield's been doing all season long for these guys. He's been a huge playmaker for them. 7.5 sacks, 11.5 tackles for loss, now 12.5 with that play right there. And this is what they're going to have to, they need to get penetration. Penetration to stop the run and get pressure on Terrell Hunt in the second half.
You know, Andre Monroe, defensive end, both those guys. There's Prince Tyson Gully, and here's Norton to try the field goal. This is 30 yards. Charlie Loeb, the backup quarterback, will hold. Snap, and the kick by Norton is good. 30-yard field goal off the fumble by Maryland. Our new score in College Park. Syracuse 13, Maryland nothing.
Game break. Duke at 6-2, trying to stay alive in the Coastal. Dave Doering, NC State, trying to get their first win in conference. They go for it from their own 26 on 4th down. They get stopped. It sets up a field goal. It's now 10-0 Duke at the half.
Well, the Blue Devils trying to get their 7th win of the year. To be their 3rd in conference play. NC State would be winless in 6 games in ACC play and 3-6 overall. We'll see the Wolfpack next Saturday against Boston College at Chestnut Hill. Part of our ACC College Football Saturday presented by Coors Light. Steve Adazio. Let's see if we can fire Brian up for the ball game.
He always does.
End over end kick. Here's the ACC's best returner, Will Likely. At the 20, and Likely spins and digs toward the 26-yard line. That's where C.J. Brown and the Turps will be for the possession. Coors Light cold hard fact with Diggs and Long out of the lineup, Brian. 44% of the catches, 48% of their receiving yards.
Incredible. And, you know, you can't give enough credit to this Maryland defense keeping them in the football game, despite now 4 turnovers by this Maryland offense. 2 of them in Maryland territory, and Syracuse only comes away with field goals.
Ross and Goins will play with C.J. Brown at quarterback. 3 receivers for the Turks. Well, got to get something going. Here's Brandon Ross on 1st down. Pretty good run here, 11 yards for Ross. Julian Wiggum out of the Syracuse secondary makes the play. 43 yards on 10 carries today for Brandon Ross.
Maryland has found some success running from the shotgun, spreading Syracuse defense out a little bit, and running some misdirections, creating some cutback lanes there. Nice physical run there by Brandon Ross.
King and Jacobs to the top of the screen. Etowah Towel to the bottom of the formation. 1st and 10. And Brandon Ross again, but the Orange play it well. Eric Kroom, Zen Jones. Stack of white shirts. Oh, there's the thing driving Randy Edsel crazy right now.
Especially in that last drive, they were moving the ball pretty nicely, found a running attack. Take some of the pressure off C.J. Brown, but the continuous turnovers, not handling the football.
4 straight possessions have ended in turnovers. Diamond look here on 2nd and 9. Brown will keep it. And dive toward the 44. That'll be a gain of about 7. It'll be 3rd and short for Maryland.
Well, C.J. Brown made a nice read there. He held on to that mesh for as long as he possibly could until Syracuse linebackers took the fake. You can see him holding that ball nice and high and tight to his body now after that fumble.
Maryland has hit a 3rd of their 3rd downs, 3 out of 9. Their last 2 ball games, they were 8 of 28 on 3rd down, just 29%. Syracuse had held Wake Forest to just 4 of 18 last week. Here's Ross. Got hit on the button. Dyshawn Davis, the linebacker, crunched him at the 45.
And when Dyshawn Davis was out of this defense on injury, boy, did they miss him. Talk about a physical linebacker, but he's probably the fastest of the group. This is the same play Maryland ran a couple plays ago that fooled Syracuse, and they picked about 8 yards. Not that time.
Richie Desir will wait on the punt of Nathan Renfro. Almost to the midway point of this third period. Turps wait a while now. Renfro's punt, not a very good one. Toward the left, and it skips right out of bounds near the 31-yard line. 34-yard punt. Syracuse leading Maryland 13-0 at College Park. ACC College Football Saturday is brought to you by the official corporate champions of the ACC, by AT&T, by Ruby Tuesday, and by Haviland. Here at College Park, the former Maryland safety Kevin Plank and Under Armour Corporation have given the Turps several jersey combinations, and today the blackout at College Park. And the Turps need to find a way to black out Syracuse here in this second half. The Orange with a 13-0 lead. They get Ashton Broyle way behind the line there. Alex Twine, the linebacker, fighting through it. Maryland had that sorted out pretty quick, Brian.
Certainly did. Ashton Broyle, the guy who wanted the ball more. He's one of their best athletes on offense. He's had a hard time fitting in. Is he a slot? Is he a wide receiver? They've tried him at both, and there he just tried to do a little bit too much with the ball. Sometimes you just got to get north and south.
Fourth play behind the line is a big loss. 7 yards. 2nd and 17. And this is George Morris trying to keep his feet going. And L.A. Goree, who missed the last 2 ball games, comes up and makes a stop there for Maryland, Jen.
Well, last night I talked to Scott Schaefer, asking him about Terrell Hunt, what he talked to him about. One thing these coaches know they don't need to talk to their quarterback about is staying calm and bouncing back when things don't go your way, because they know that Terrell Hunt is who he is because of everything he's been through off the field. He lost his mother to cancer 3 years ago. Still a bright, positive kid. They know he's going to come back and lead this team the way that he's shown he can do.
3rd and long here. Out in the flat for Jerome Smith, and underthrown a little bit by Hunt, by Isaac Goins in coverage there against Jerome Smith. Again, physically he's gifted. I was asked this week about Terrell Hunt, Brian, and I use this. I don't think he's got blazing speed, but he's got enough athleticism to be a problem.
He certainly does. That's exactly right. And I'll tell you what we haven't talked about enough today is this Maryland defense. Other than the opening drive of the football game, they've done a fantastic job. You know, their offense has coughed it up twice in their territory, and they've come up with some huge stops to keep them in the football game.
Look at here. Turps put 10 on the line. Now they'll set for the return of Dixon's punt, and likely will signal for it, make the fair catch. And now markers come down late behind the play. We'll tell you about that when we come back. 13-0 in favor of the Orange. ACC is playing a member that is leaving the ACC. Maryland is down to its final month as a football participant in the ACC, headed to the Big Ten next year. Randy Edsall told us in July, fairly emphatically I might add, that there was no emotion in this in terms of Maryland's departure after being one of the charter members of the league in 1953. Deep shot, Etowah there, intercepted Wiggum and a marker. No, ruled incomplete. Wiggum didn't hold on, but a flag down. And I think pass interference on Julian Wiggum.
Pass interference, defense number 21, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
8 for 85 now in the ball game penalties on Syracuse.
Well, and a big break for C.J. Brown in this Maryland offense. Looked to be like it could have been their 5th turnover. Looks like Wiggum had his right hand that was grabbing the play caller on Editawu's arm to hold him up.
Yep. 15-yard step to the 38 of Syracuse. Here's Brown and Brandon Ross trying to find room. A yard, maybe 2. Richie Desir at safety. Next play. without Darrell Eskridge, their leader in that secondary, Boyd Desir, Darius Kelly, Jeremy Wilkes, Wayne Morgan to a degree, all stepping up here to try and take the spot of Eskridge, the redshirt sophomore, who had his 3rd interception before leaving the game with injury. He and Gully on the offensive side, the 2 big losses in game today. And now Brown in trouble, flag for a face mask. And Brown had to just throw it away, trying to get it to Steinball. Isaiah Johnson, the defensive end, along with Marquise Brewer in there. And I think
Personal foul, grasping the face mask, defense number 91, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down. 9
penalties now and 100 yards for the Orange.
And Syracuse is doing a nice job of moving the chains for Maryland right now. And good call by the referees. Clearly was a face mask. And C.J. Brown's been dodging bullets all day back there with the pressure that Syracuse continues to bring.
Following the penalty, the ball is spotted at the 22-yard line.
They've moved the ball 30 yards without completing anything here. 2 15-yard penalties have advanced this thing 30 yards. 109 now, penalty-wise for Syracuse. Here's Brown. Out the flat, Brandon Ross. And knocked out of bounds at the 18.
Complete the 45.
Robert Welsh, the end, came off the edge to make the play on Ross. Scott Schaefer, he talked to us a couple of weeks ago about penalties.
Oh. With the intensity that man possesses, you know he's got to be frustrated on that sideline. He expects much more discipline out of his football team. Can't say enough about C.J. Brown, who came out with so many turnovers. He definitely has that short-term memory, putting on a nice drive for his football team here.
Pistol set for Brown. 2nd down and 5. Brown trying to get to the right side, and again, Welsh and Cameron Lynch, 94 and 38 respectively, chased Brown out of bounds.
Brown's taking quite a few hits today. Takes a big one there from Marquise Brewer. This is a huge 3rd down for this offense. They've been turnover prone. They've at least got to get 3 out of this drive. They need to make a good decision with the football here.
They're 3 of 10 on 3rd down, Brian. 3 receivers and a tight end for Brown. Will throw. Inside route caught, Laverne Jacobs. And a 1st down at the 10. So they go to the slot, Laverne Jacobs, who made some big plays 2 weeks ago against Clemson.
When we talk about wide receivers stepping up and making some plays for C.J. Brown, this ball is actually thrown behind Laverne Jacobs. Makes a nice adjustment, holds on to the football in traffic. You even see the defensive tackle, Jay Bromley, in on the tackle.
1st and goal here from Maryland, squarely at the 10. Couple of interceptions for Brown. Option play. Loses yards there. Lynch knocks him down. A marker on the play. It's procedure against Maryland. First flag of the day.
Illegal formation foul. 5 players in the backfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
How about that? First flag of the day. There have been others. They were declined. This one accepted. First penalty of the day on Maryland with 3:23 left in the 3rd.
And it couldn't come at worse timing when you're 1st and goal.
Meanwhile, Syracuse has got 100 yards on 9 penalties. And has a 13-0 lead.
Can't say enough about Maryland's defense. They've done a nice job here today.
1st and goal. Orange show blitz. And they get around Ross. Ball pop loose. Syracuse says they have it. Marker down. Syracuse has it. Let's check the flag. Was the Orange offside? Michael Robinson comes up with the football, the defensive end.
Prior to the fumble, there was offside by number 93 of the defense. Lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
10 penalties, 105 yards on the Orange.
I'll tell you what, I'm starting to feel like I'm in the booth with Nostradamus here. It's about the 3rd time today you've called out a penalty before they've announced what it is. Pretty impressive, partner.
This subplot to the ball game for Schaefer and the Orange, Brian, has got to be driving them crazy.
Oh, they've got more yards and penalties than any one player on their team does, that's for sure.
Now back to the 1st and 10 mark. That's Jacobs in motion. Brown to throw. Pressure coming. Back middle of the field. That's Laverne Jacobs, and a play by Lynch. Bromley, 96. The big D tackle. How does he move well for a big kid?
Boy, perfect play call for a blitz here. They go back to that middle screen to Laverne Jacobs, but Jay Bromley shows off his athleticism. 296 pounds. He runs us down from behind. Incredible play by their leader on the defensive front to save a touchdown.
2nd and goal now for Maryland. Ball at the 7. Inside give, Brandon Ross and Eric Kroon, the 300-pound junior from Detroit. Takes him down at the 5. Clearly 4-down territory for Maryland.
Has to be. With the way their offense is played, they've got to go. They've got to find a way to get a touchdown out of this drive.
Well, it's a 13-0 game with 16.5 minutes essentially left to play. Maryland's 4 of 11 on 3rd down. Three receivers right, 1 to the left. That's Ross beside Brown. Jacobs in motion. Brown throws. Offline, incomplete. Lynch came free to pressure Brown. That took C.J. Brown's offering offline.
It shouldn't be a secret that Syracuse is going to blitz on 3rd down. They're doing it every time, but the variety of blitzes has just wreaked havoc on this Maryland offense. That time it was Cameron Lynch coming up in the middle and some defensive linemen dropping back into coverage, making it very difficult for Maryland to anticipate where they're coming from.
23-yard try for Craddock to try and get Maryland on the board. Snap spot, tries away, and it is good. 70 seconds to play. Here in the 3rd, the Turps go on the board. Pretty good stop by Syracuse.
It certainly is, and I agree with kicking the field goal, not going. We talked about maybe being 4-down territory with the way this offense is played, but Randy Edson's got to show some faith in that defense if they're going to continue to stop the Syracuse offense and give his offense more opportunities to score points in the 4th quarter.
8 plays, 48 yards, 4:17 time of the drive. Craddock's field goal, his 16th of the year. 23 yards to get Maryland on the board. Our Husqvarna high-powered scoring drive. Syracuse, after these turnovers, the Orange have been willing to get things done late in the 1st half. Norton punches home the field goal, and then he kicked another one to start the 3rd period, 30 yards, and that gave them the working margin of 13-0. Our Husqvarna high-powered scoring drive. We've had 4 Maryland turnovers. And a moment ago, the 8-play drive cashed in for the field goal.
Well, Syracuse needs another drive just like that. This defense has really held that offense at bay. 2 times Syracuse had turnovers in Maryland territory, could not come away with a touchdown.
So 13-3, our new score here at College Park. And to your point a moment ago, the Orange now got to try and build some of the momentum they had from earlier in the ballgame.
Well,
offensively,
and a lot of what's killed their drives has been penalties. They've done it to themselves. They've been able to run the ball very effectively on 1st down. They need to get back to doing that, but play disciplined football and stop with all the penalties.
By the way, the Maryland field goal drive aided by 45 yards of Syracuse penalties. McFarland and Morris deep with Gully shaken up. And that ball's going to go out of bounds shy of the pylon. And Syracuse would come out to the 35 as a result of that penalty. 2nd one of the day on Maryland.
Got to give credit to Morris not running up there trying to catch that ball and get a return out of it. He recognized it.
Brad Allen sorts it out.
Free kick out of bounds. Now the kicking team. Ball will be placed at the 35-yard line. 1st down.
The Orange will play from there. Terrell Hunt, 13 of 19, 132 today. And the sophomore redshirt, Rosedale, New York, back to work. Smith and McFarland in the backfield. This is Devontae McFarland trying to get the edge turned and cannot. Boy, Maryland played it well. Andre Monroe at 280 pounds, able to make the play on Devontae McFarland, Jim.
Wes, I've got to tell you, I've spent time on both sidelines here today, and every time I've come on the Syracuse sideline, even after Maryland just scored, the energy over here is really good. Matthew McPherson in the center, right in the middle of it all that last time before his offense came on the field, trying to fire him up, tell him we need to get down and score.
Yep, we're doing it here. Hunt gets the ball to West. And he fights to the 42 before Alex Klein knocks it back. That'll leave Syracuse with 3rd and 3. I would suspect guys like Mackie McPherson, who kind of signed on during Doug Marone's rebuilding of Syracuse's football fortune, then went to the pinstripe game last year, got the great win over West Virginia, did the Orange. I would believe guys like McPherson, particularly being a senior, there's a sense of urgency about these last few ball games.
Certainly is. Maryland only needs one win to become bowl eligible. Syracuse needs multiple, so.
Well, the Orange lead by 10. We go to the final 15 minutes here at College Park. Syracuse has won 2 of 3 and 4 of their last 6. Quarter from College Park, 10-point lead for Syracuse. The final 15 minutes begins with 3rd and 3 for the Orange. Jerome Smith near the first down. Don't believe he got it. L.A. Goree makes the play. And on 4th and short, early in the final period, up 10. What are you doing here, Coach Stan?
Well, with the way Jerome Smith run the football, you could definitely say it's time to go for it, but Scott Schaefer's going to sit on his lead. I mean, Maryland's offense has not been successful to turn the ball over a bunch. Why take the risk and give him great field position?
Remember, Maryland stacked 10 up on the line a moment ago. They don't appear to be doing that here. As likely stands in the 16. Play clock is going to wind down. We're going to get a penalty here on Syracuse for a delay of the game. And Riley Dixon.
Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
That's just another long on the fire in that category for the Orange today, but that's 11 for 110 yards. The idea being this. You're playing percentages if you're Schaefer here.
Oh, certainly. He's playing percentages right now. Maryland has struggled offensively. Only able to put up 3 points.
Turps 9 on the line. To his right, Dixon. Rugby-style punt. It's a good one. Likely signals for. Makes the fair catch at the 16-yard line. So the Turps will get it. We're almost a minute into the 4th at College Park. Big game in the Atlantic. 10-point lead for the Orange.
Update. It's been back and forth. Duke with a 10-0 lead at the half. NC State kicks a field goal to make it 10-7. Rashard Smith makes a man miss, 73 yards and the touchdown. That's his 2nd of the year. We're all squared away at 10 up there in Durham.
Oh, temperature falling at Bird Stadium. Shows our man for the job, though, today, Brian.
He's focused right there. Not letting bother him.
10-point lead. Maryland going to work, trailing. And Brown pass caught on the far side by Laverne Jacobs or Albert Reed. He falls down. It'll be a loss on the play of 3. Maryland trying to create space against the pressure that Syracuse applies.
It has really just disrupted everything they do to include just a simple pass out in the flats to Albert Reed.
2nd and 13 now for Brown and Maryland.
This offensive line has got to take control here in the 4th quarter, find a way to pick up these blitzers. Give C.J. Brown some time.
Inside give is Reed. Boy, the Orange get a big play there. 99 is Ryan Sloan, 326-pound redshirt sophomore. Big Ryan got in there and dropped it.
We talked about the penetration. He just works his way upfield, fighting through blocks. You know, Syracuse is a 4th quarter football team. They like to get really physical here to close out football games.
Maryland's been outscored 70-38 in the fourth quarter this year. 4 of 12 on third down on the Turps. Brown drops to throw. Flush from the pocket. In the pocket. Sproul hammers him as he lets it go, incomplete. Tried to dial it deep for Nigel King, and Marquise Sproul stayed on track.
Maryland did a nice job initially picking up the blitz. In fact, Albert Reed was one who picked it up off the edge, but C.J. Brown did not have enough time to settle his feet. And Syracuse has done a really nice job in the defensive backfield. As C.J. Brown rolls out to extend plays, they've maintained their discipline and kept their coverage.
Brown 15-25 for 124, 2 picks today. Renfro's punt toward Richie Desir, who signals for and makes the fair catch at the 43.5-yard line for Syracuse. So the Orange leading by 10. The punt decision by Schaefer on 4th and short paid off. 3 and out for the Orange defense. This ACC football game is presented by Husqvarna, the world's largest producer of outdoor power equipment. Visit Husqvarna.com. Well, the Memorial Chapel on the campus here at the University of Maryland. Nightfall at College Park. Syracuse with a 10-point lead. And little known fact, the ticket account belongs to Kringle, Chris. I'll pick up my tickets, man, before I go to work in late December.
I'll tell you what, I think he's here scouting out Jerome Smith to see if he can pull his sled.
Who knew? Who knew the man that goes to work in late December has tickets to the Turp game? Secret's out. Here are the Orange, only 2 first downs in the second half. And Hunt keeps it on the option point. Took a big shot. Boy, Matt Robinson, the linebacker, number 40, lowered the boom on Terrell Hunt.
He certainly did. It looked like Terrell Hunt may make the decision to pitch, but Matt Robinson comes out of nowhere and lays the wood on Terrell Hunt. And this Maryland defense continues to perform very well. They've been put in some really tough situations today. Struggled stopping the run early, but they've come together.
Second and long. Hunt swings it to the far side. Grizzly Esteem works his way to about the 48. Robinson goes side to side to make the play.
And that's been one of the keys for them stopping the Syracuse rushing attack in the second half, is forcing the plays to go sideline to sideline. They're not giving Jerome Smith and these running backs much opportunity to hit those holes right away. They're extending the plays east and west and gang tag.
Hunt 15-21 for a $140. Look at this alignment. 3rd and 5, 2 to the left, 3 to the right.
Watch the quarterback draw.
Hunt keeps. First down. And more. Terrell Hunt spinning inside the 25 to the 23. How about the call? They emptied the backfield, Brian. 30-yard run.
Surprising that Maryland's defense gets caught in this again. Syracuse empties the backfield in these odd formations. Their favorite thing to do is a quarterback draw with Terrell Hunt. Maryland just unable to call an audible there defensively and get somebody to spy on him in the middle.
64 yards on 6 carries. Here's George Morris trying to get to the edge, and he'll get a yard. Maybe on the play. Sean Davison runs support out of the Turp secondary.
Second down, 9 yards to go from the 22.
Second down and 9. 10-point lead for the Orange. Here in the 4th. Smith in the ball game, the lone setback. And this is Jerome Smith looking for the cutback. 10-5, touchdown, Jerome Smith. Yard touchdown run for Jerome Smith. Gives him 10 on the season, 2 today. 98 yards on 23 carries. And the Orange are trying to close another one here in the 4th.
We talked about that's what these running backs do, is they close football games. If you're in striking distance in the 4th quarter, game's close and they're in the lead. Another one broke by Jerome Smith in the 4th.
5 plays, 57 yards in 2:05. Point after is good. And it's now a 20-3 lead. Jerome Smith, the redshirt junior from Baird, Delaware. Both touchdowns for the Orange. Syracuse the lead, and earlier today in the ball game, the University of Maryland did their very best to right a wrong of 1937. And today they paid honor to Wilma Sadat Singh, who in 1937 was a two-sport star at Syracuse University, an outstanding basketball player. His jersey's honored at the Carrier Dome. He was a fine football player as well, but in 1937, when Syracuse came to College Park to play, Mr. Singh was not allowed to play in the game because of the color of his skin. And today, Kevin Anderson, the athletics director, and the folks here at the University of Maryland paid tribute to Wilma Sadat Singh and his family by presenting his family and friends with the jersey of the Wounded Warrior program to commemorate the oversight by the University of Maryland some 70-some years ago. And a nice moment by the University of Maryland. Mr. Singh, by the way, was one of the original Tuskegee Airmen. Lost his life in May of 1943. He's buried at Arlington National Cemetery, a native of Washington, D.C.
A special presentation on so many fronts, especially being Veterans Day weekend.
Maryland will play from its 40. And a sack. Eric Kroon breaking through and drops C.J. Brown back at the 29-yard line.
Kroon has really come along late in the season and been a real threat in the middle of the field. Syracuse continues to give this offensive line fits. Looks like Maryland was about to set up a screen and they turned the defensive line loose. C.J. Brown unable to find him and get the ball to him.
Second sack of the day for the Orange. There have been plenty of pressures, though, applied by Chuck Bullis' defense. Ottawa Mbatao, the catch. Ottawa Towel into Syracuse territory at the 45. Our charter high-speed internet hit. Well, there have been plenty up here today. The Orange have been doling them out. Dyshawn Davis, Marquise Sproul. They've come in all shapes and sizes, Brian.
Those sizes aren't small. There's not a small guy on the Syracuse defense.
Turps trying to get momentum. There's another one. Brown got blasted by Sproul, and on the back end, a big hit, too. Dyshawn Davis on Laverne Jacobs. Wow. Look at this one. Oh. There's one there.
Marquise Sproul gets another hit on C.J. Brown coming in on the blitz and completely turn him loose. And Dyshawn Davis makes you pay for going across the middle. Tough going anywhere you go on this Syracuse defense.
Just 2 sacks, but plenty of other chaos provided by the Orange.
They've disrupted every pass play for C.J. Brown today.
Brown, middle of the field, that's Nigel King. And that will make it 3rd down. Darius Kelly makes the stop. Still 3rd and a long 4 for Maryland off Syracuse 39. 20-3 in favor of the Orange.
Darius Kelly's done a nice job filling in for the injured Darrell Eskridge, the leader of this defense today.
Brown 17-28, 156, but Maryland 4 of 13 on 3rd down. And Jacobs had it broken up. Julian Wiggum, first half interception, and that time forces Maryland into 4th down.
Syracuse came with another zone blitz there, making it difficult for C.J. Brown to read, and Jacobs just couldn't hold on to the football.
Maryland converted their only 4th down earlier in the game. Down 17, Edsel's team going for it here. This is 4th and a long 4. Brown to throw. Flag on the play, and incomplete. Pass intended for Steinball, the tight end. A marker back near midfield. And I think this penalty will be declined by Syracuse. It was a hold against Maryland. Here's Brad Allen.
Holding. Offense number 72. The penalty is declined. 1st down, Syracuse.
So the Orange forced Maryland to give it away on downs. And now we talked at the top how big this game was going to be, and Richie Desir and Dave Steinbaum.
A lot of that's just frustration from this Maryland offense. They've struggled with this zone blitz scheme of Syracuse defense all day. In fact, on that last play, they dropped all 3 defensive linemen into coverage and only brought 2 outside linebackers.
So Hunt, the Orange, back to duty. Been an interesting day for the Orange. First down give. Here's Jerome Smith. Runs into his own man. Rob Trudeau, the guard. And no gain on the play. So the Orange, here you go, Brian. Look at this line. 218 rushing, 140 passing, 358. Nice day. Oh, by the way, $110 in penalties.
Well, at least they've got more passing yards than they do penalties. Earlier in the game, that wasn't the case. Interesting note here, too, is that Scott Schaefer's focused on the penalties the past couple of weeks. You know this frustrates him. Certainly something he's going to focus on moving forward the rest of the season. Something they've got to fix if they're going to make it to a bowl game this season.
Play action by Hunt. Under duress and tried to dial up Cleveland, the fullback. And an incomplete pass. A Ram truck power highlight. No surprise. Big 45, Jerome Smith. Providing all the tough yards, huh?
And those legs do not stop moving. He's number 45, probably because his legs are 45 inches in diameter. This man is a truck. Sat next to him last week during the interviews. Wow, that is a big, powerful, motivated man.
It's 226 well put together pounds, wouldn't you say?
It certainly is. And when you've got a depleted linebacking core and a small secondary, that's not the running back you want to face, but that's the case for Maryland's defense.
Third long. Hunt tried to come back here to the near side to Ashton Boyle. Marcus Whitfield, the linebacker, got in there to contest his passing lane.
You got to wonder the play calls there. 2 throws in a row in the fourth quarter while you're up 20-3. You would expect Syracuse to be running the ball now to move the clock a little bit more, but they're going to give it back to Maryland's offense.
Under 8 to go. And the Orange will punt with Riley Dixon. Maryland needs a smart play here. Will likely could be a candidate standing at the 20. Punt, end over end, likely fair catches at the 29. So that's where the Turps will play from. Randy Edsall's team trails by 17 in the fourth. See College Football Saturday is brought to you by Hardee's hand-breaded chicken tender box, by CPI Security, by Frost Brewed Coors Light, the world's most refreshing beer, and by Toyota. Well, inside the Gossett football team house here at the University of Maryland, like a lot of places in the ACC, they do a great job capturing their football successes over the years. And Randy Edsall with the Turps at the 1953 National Championship, along with an ACC championship in 2001, which was Ralph Friedgen's first year as head coach here at College Park. Under 8 to go, and Brown back to work for the Turps. And an incomplete pass for Albert Reed in the middle of the field.
You know, C.J. Brown has thrown some interceptions. He's had some trouble with ball security this football game, but somebody in this receiver core and running back core has got to step up, catch the football, and make a play for Maryland's offense.
Tough day for a lot of folks. That's how Black gone wrong there, isn't it?
You could have done better.
You could have done better?
That's not that Fan J game. He's got to step up.
Got to go a little harder, doesn't he? Later in the season, got to play for more, right? He certainly do. 2nd and 10. Brown will keep it. First down across the 40 to the 43 goes C.J. Brown. Cameron Lynch probably saved a bigger play. 14-yard run. Lynch is playing good at linebacker.
Oh, he's been all over the field. Comes out of coverage there as soon as the quarterback decides he's going to keep it.
Brown does a good job conserving the body shot, too, on a play like that.
He does for as many hits he's taken today.
Inside route. That ball's caught at Ortawa. makes the grab into Syracuse territory at the 38. And Amba Edo-Ottawa, the redshirt freshman, has come up with some big plays, and Rashard Anderson shaking up on the play for the Orange. 19-yard throw and catch there. And the clock stops with 7:23 to play. Might be a cramp. It's hard to tell as they come out and check on Rashard Anderson. But the Orange, and there's Anderson, one of the big hits early in the game. And Brian, they're plenty on the highlight reel today.
Oh, certainly are. These guys have been all over the field. Speed and physical play. There's Wiggum with an interception, and Eric Kroon gets in the backfield for another sack. And it's just been nonstop pressure on C.J. Brown. And we talked about his ability to not take the most out of hits. He does a very nice job of getting out of bounds, sliding before he gets hit. And they tally a total every game how many hits C.J. Brown takes. That total is going to be pretty high for this game against Syracuse.
32 attempts, 18 completions, 175 for Brown, and a couple of picks here today. First down play. Marker on the play. And Edo-Ottawa another catch. And another first down. The play stands. Wiggum and Wiltz are there. We'll see if this does stand for Maryland.
Illegal formation foul. 5 players in the backfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Penalty will cost Maryland. Jen, the Syracuse defense trying to hold the rope here.
Well, Wes, as we have learned in covering Syracuse the past few weeks, one thing that this defense prides itself on is being in the camera club. Now, what this is, you see the pictures, how many hats get to the ball. They try to get camera club 7.0. They want 7 guys in the ball. If they took a freeze frame of where the ball was, they want 7 orange helmets in the picture.
How'd they do there, Brian? That looked like about 8 or 9.
About 8 guys. All I know is I don't want to be the guy holding the football.
Here's Brown, flush in the pocket, deep shot, and overthrows. Daniel Adams, the intended receiver. Jen, I got to tell you, when Schaefer starts talking about the camera club, and what, it started at Rhode Island early in his coaching career, right?
Yeah. Well,
it's unbelievable. He starts talking about it. He talks about it with as much intensity as he talks about, blitz schemes.
Well, Wes, this is a guy, when we walked into his office last week, he had a giant blown-up picture of the camera club in front of his TV, and then it was also the screensaver on his computer, so that kind of tells you how he feels about it.
He might be the head coach, but he's still got a lot of defensive coordinator in him.
Does he ever?
Brown slips it to Laverne Jacobs with blockers, but not enough. Jacobs taken down at the 36. Richie Desir has played really well again today for Syracuse. There's Scott Schaefer. I got to tell you, 46 years of age, Painesville, Ohio, graduate of Baldwin Wallace, the former defensive coordinator with Doug Marrone, and he is ready to go every day.
Fun guy to talk about. He is as passionate about this game and his players as any coach I've ever met.
Yeah. Ball got knocked away. Wiggum in coverage. And there's Chuck Bullock, who was with the Cleveland Browns a season ago. And all these guys have some degree of tie. Bullock and Schaefer go back to days in the MAC together. And they're on the same page now defensively.
Oh, they certainly are. And they've got to be happy today. I mean, they have dialed up a number of different zone blitzes that have been very confusing for both Maryland's offensive line and C.J. Brown. Caused turnovers and just wreaked havoc in the backfield today.
Yeah. Fourth down play, and Brown will be sacked. Juggled the snap, and then Syracuse got there with Robert Welsh and Micah Robinson.
So many times today we've seen at least one guy come free for Syracuse defense. Here, Robert Welsh, nobody even puts as much as a hand on him. And after bobbling the snap, C.J. Brown didn't have a chance.
7-yard loss, and the Orange will take over with under 6 to go. And with a 17-point lead, you think they've probably got enough to close it, but just in case, Jerome Smith's going to come out on the field with Terrell Hunt here.
And last drive, they decided to try and throw the football a little bit. I would expect them to run the ball and just grind the clock down here at this point.
Here's Hunt to throw, and offline nearly intercepted. Sean Davis in the secondary had a chance on a ball intended for Brisley Esteem. Early in the ball game, our Z-Max Performance play of the game, Brian.
And Brisley Esteem, he catches it in the flats here and watch the yards after contact. Makes a huge first down for Syracuse that led to their first opening drive score. A touchdown by Jerome Smith. Brisley Esteem, a youngster, continues to emerge as a star for this offense.
4 catches, 40 yards for Esteem. Here's Jerome Smith back to work. On 2nd and 10, he got 5 yards.
There's what we would expect in the fourth quarter with the 7th. He'd run the football, get the clock moving.
And that'll get the game clock back toward the 5-minute mark as Smith cracks 100 yards. 104 on 25 carries, Brian.
Well, we talked about this running back in the open, and he certainly has delivered. This is a horse that you want to ride and ride. When they get to the second half, this is when this guy is really most dangerous. When a defense starts to get a little tired and fatigued, he will run through arm tackles all day. You've got to wrap him up and gang tackle this running back.
3rd down and 6. They empty the backfield for Hunt. 3 to the left and 2 to the right here for the Orange. And Terrell Hunt going to try and keep it, and he'll be near the first down at the Maryland 49. Andre Monroe spun him around.
That's the 4th time Syracuse has emptied the backfield, the 3rd time that they've run a quarterback draw today. Maryland did a much better job defending it. They actually called a defensive stunt of the defensive front. We'll see if they were able to hold it.
And Syracuse is going to punt with 4.5 minutes to play. So Riley Dixon and Will Likely will stand at the 10 to wait on Dixon's punt. A delayed game taken by the Orange.
5-yard penalty. 4th down.
That'll just add to this total today. Now 12 penalties, 115 yards. Now some of that, a couple of these have been to field position to give Dixon a little more room. But they hit the century mark in their own. That will be the one thing that the head coach of the Orange won't be happy with after the ball.
Certainly not. I mean, you're talking about a team that's trying to get to bowl eligibility.
Dixon got that away, gets some pressure, and Likely signals forward and makes the fair catch at the 17-yard line. So Maryland will take over, but Jerome Smith, a 100-yard day, Jen, on 25 carries.
Yeah, Wes, big impact on the field for Jerome Smith. And we got to see something really cool last week before the game about the kind of impact he can have off the field as well. I saw him meet with a young man named Jacob Zonick, who has cerebral palsy. And Jacob and Jerome were kind of partnered through a hand-in-hand program in Delaware as part of the Blue Gold All-Star Game, where they pair players with children with intellectual disabilities. Jacob got to come watch Jerome play in person in the Dome for the first time last week. And what a reminder that is, guys, of the kind of impact you can have on young people's lives watching you out there on this football field.
Brown's pass hit as he threw it by Ron Thompson and nearly intercepted by Cameron Lynch. Jan, thank you. Jerome Smith, in our visit last week, very enjoyable young man to visit with, and we got an interesting group together with Marquise Spruill and Terrell Hunt, Jerome Smith, and Ashton World, and we found out a lot when you put those guys together. Sometimes you find out some things that it really shows why last week's win for them was so big, and it could end up being one of the bigger wins they have of the year. Here's Brown after the incomplete pass. Flag thrown on the play, and the ball broken up. Darius Kelly challenged the ball. It was intended, I believe, for Nigel King by C.J. Brown. Here's the thing. They lose 56-0 in Atlanta to Georgia Tech and get a week off. Boy, that is a lonely stretch.
Offense number 72. Penalties decline. 3rd down.
And that's exactly what those players talk about. They talk about how awful it is to sit on a bye week after losing 56-0, what it takes to come back from that.
Well, tough day at the office for LaRoe, the left tackle.
Oh, you're a freshman being in. He had a bye week to prepare for his first start here today after their starting left tackle left the program. Yep. Tough situation to walk into as a freshman.
3rd and long. on third down. Pumps, middle of the field. Emba Etowatawa the catch, and a first down for Maryland at the 37. So the Turps keep the drive alive. 18-yard throw. Maryland's going to hurry up here. Under 4 to play.
Maryland's finding some success now, and C.J. Brown still going to move around the pocket, but Syracuse, simply put, has not been blitzing as often as they were earlier in the quarter, giving C.J. Brown a little bit more time.
6 for 109 today for Etowatawa. And now more pressure. Brown in trouble. And throws on the run, and King can't hold on. Looked like two arms collided in the backfield. Jeremy Wilkes and Robert Welsh kind of took each other off the path of C.J. Brown before he cut it loose.
Well, we just talked about them not blitzing, and Maryland finally finds success. What do? They dial up another blitz. Welsh looks like he knocks Wilkes down and prevents a safety.
Friendly fire, huh?
Certainly was. Just when you think Syracuse is going to dial back on the blitz, Maryland completes one pass. They're right back on C.J. Brown.
Second down and a full 10 for Brown and Maryland. And the ball got snapped through his legs, and Brown will just hustle back and fall on it near the 26-yard line.
That's the third time they've struggled just with the snap and shotgun. One was actually a fumble.
11-yard loss for Maryland. Well, Syracuse, remember, they had a very arduous start to the season. They played Penn State at MetLife Stadium in New York, then went to Northwestern. You know how tough the Wildcats are. So they start off at 0-2. And Drew Allen's the quarterback. They've had turnovers. Terrell Hunt's played sparingly. The defense has been really kind of put behind the 8-ball in a couple of ball games. And at some point, they had to kind of self-start themselves. Here's a third and long now for Brown and Maryland. Brown out of the pocket. Nigel King the catch. Spool the tackle at the 35. It'll be fourth and a dozen. What Scott Schaefer told us when we were there for the first time to visit prior to the Tulane game, the Wagner game gave them a little bit of confidence. Then they had to decide how they're going to handle it. Well, remember then, they lose a hard-fought ball game at Georgia. They lose 56-0 at Georgia Tech. They kind of got it back in the middle of the road. Then they go to 4-4 when they lose. They lose Clemson. They lose Georgia Tech. They come back and beat Wake Forest. They got the road win against NC State. They're all the way to a win today. And you see the remaining games with Schaefer in the orange. And there's some teams in bowl eligibility. There's some expectations for Syracuse to go to a bowl game, given the way the season started, and the 56-0 loss in Atlanta, Brian.
Oh, it would be a tremendous job by both these players and the coaching staff. And with a win today, they're going to go to 3-1 in the Atlantic Conference in the ACC in their first year in the ACC. But they're going to have to limit these penalties going to Florida State next week.
Yep, no question about it.
You don't need to make anything. You don't need to make anything harder on yourself playing Florida State.
Now here's the challenge for that guy, Randy Edsall. You're going to be 5-4, and you got to find a way to win one of those remaining three to get Maryland bowl eligible.
Certainly, and they're going to go at Virginia Tech, then home with Boston College, and at North Carolina State.
Here's Jerome Smith in the final 155.
Well, one of the things we haven't talked about today, you know, obviously C.J. Brown, the offense, struggled to pick up the pass rush and the blitzing scheme of Syracuse, but also the relationships between C.J. Brown and these young wide receivers. C.J. Brown's been hurt. They lost their two top receivers. They've got some young guys stepping up, and the relationship isn't there like it was with Deion Long and Stephon Diggs.
Right. You kind of almost got to build confidence in that respect.
You certainly do. They've had some drop passes. There have been some interceptions.
It'll be a disappointing loss for Maryland, for sure. A team that has kind of fought injuries again. This year it's been a lot in the linebacking core. Here's Jerome Smith. Stays inbounds. He'll have a first down to the 32-yard line. And our Mitsubishi play of the game, courtesy of Jerome Smith.
Boy, when you get late into the football game and you try and arm tackle this young man, this is exactly what happens. Several times this season, he's broken off long touchdown runs late in the game. He wears defenses down. It becomes very difficult to take the big man down when you're just physically fatigued, like Maryland's defense is. They've come up big for Maryland all game long been put in some tough situations. The fact that this defense only gave up 20 points is a true testament to their toughness.
117 yards, 2 touchdowns on 27 carries today for Jerome Smith. He came into the league, or came into the ballgame 6th in the ACC in yards per game at 73.4. He's added 2 touchdowns today. He was already 5th in touchdowns. And that will likely be the final snap here at College Park. Well, for the Orange, Syracuse comes here and wins for the 3rd time in 4 games and for the 5th time in their last 7. They're now 5-4, headed to Tallahassee next Saturday to meet Florida State. Maryland 5-4. They've lost 3 straight, 4 of 5, and they're in Blacksburg next Saturday. The Orange have now won 5 straight in the series from Maryland. Jerome Smith leads the way today for the Orange in a 20-3 win. And the second half storyline, the Syracuse defense.
Certainly was, and again, great starting field position they gave their offense that led to a field goal. And Maryland really just couldn't find any answers offensively, specifically for the pass rush. Terrell Hunt here making another big play on a quarterback draw for his offense. And then Jerome Smith closes it out with a big run for a touchdown. Goes well over 100 yards today. And there's that pass rush of Syracuse. These zone blitzes confuse the offensive line, and they just plague Maryland's offense all day long.
An impressive win for the Orange. 20-3 the final. They have now, in the last 2 ball games, held opponents in the Atlantic Division to a 1.5. They shut out Wake Forest last week and held Maryland to 3 today, Jen.
Coach Schaefer, you wanted your team to be tough. You wanted them to be physical. Did you get that?
Yeah, we did. You know, got to play smarter. The penalties are keeping me up at night. But I love our kids' effort, and I love their toughness. I mean, there were a lot of big hits out there again today. When we needed to, we ran that ball really well. Obviously, we want to keep working on all the things that haven't been as good, but I'm so pleased with our kids. Couldn't tell you how proud I am of our kids and also our fans that showed up today.
Well, I have to ask now, 1 win away from bowl eligibility. What would it mean to this team, this program, to get that this year? Your first year as head coach, first year in the ACC.
Well, it means a lot. We're just going to take it, as you well know, 1 game at a time. That is our goal, and we're going to work our butts off to get that.
We're going to talk to a couple of your defensive players, but I want to ask you about your linebackers, Marquise Spruill, and the way he kind of owned the middle in this game today.
Yeah, he looked good. I think all 3 of those kids are playing good football. It's great to have Dyson back out there. Marquise is playing his butt off. This guy's played really well the whole season, so once you talk to him, it's more important to keep this guy.
Well, Coach decided we will go straight to Jay Bromley. You do what the coach says, Jay. But a game for your defense. What was your goal coming into this game?
Just to build off what we did last week, you know, held in our team scoreless. We wanted to keep that roll going. Obviously, we didn't do that with 3 points, but we still played a hell of a game.
You absolutely did. And I saw you here on the end line. You had an interception in your hands, didn't you?
Oh, man, it felt like I was so close, but it felt like that ball was in the air for so long. But, you know, it still was a great play. Got us off the field, so I just feel good about our team.
One thing I noticed, your sideline always has such great energy, both offense and defense. Do you feel that's a good characteristic? Is that pretty indicative of how this team is?
It definitely is, especially when our offense can go out there and score 20 points, you know, and defense not on the field the whole game. That really helped the side to have a lot of juice. They come out there and play great defense.
You know you're going to need to bring that juice next week to Tallahassee. You can't celebrate a win for long. We're going to have to look forward. What is this defense going to need to do next week?
It's a great team in Florida State, man. They have explosive players all over the field. We just want to build up what we've been doing the past couple weeks. We know it's a much different challenge, but we're up for it.
As a leader, you told me, you know, these guys say you're not just a leader of the defense, you're the leader of the team. What's your role going to be this week?
Just, you know, we celebrate this win, you know, until tomorrow you watch the film, correct the mistakes, and on to the next one.
All right, on to the next one. Thank you, Jay.
Thank you.
Wes, back up to you.
Jen, thank you. Thanks to Jay Bromley. Just 3 tackles statistically, but I'd say Bromley had tremendous amount of influence on these final numbers.
He certainly did. Look at the rushing yards for Maryland. A big key that came from Mike Loxley, the offensive coordinator, said we've got to be able to run the football. They were not able to. The whole game was on the shoulders of C.J. Brown and these young wide receivers who are, you know, really having to step up for their injured stars, Deion Long and Stephon Diggs.
You start looking, though, Syracuse calling card clearly defense. And Hunt's numbers, not flashy, Brian, but efficient.
Certainly are. You know, when you're talking about Florida State next week, they've got to reduce the turnovers, and they cannot have that many penalties. If they do that in Tallahassee, it's going to be trouble. And here we're seeing the progression of Terrell Hunt. He made good decisions at times with the football, moved on to his second and third options. He did not attack the perimeter and go deep often earlier in the season. He's starting to do that now, and Gerard West is starting to emerge as a deep threat. And here he shows you he is efficient running the football and can make plays with his feet. He's not lights out with his speed, but he is fast, smooth, and he is a big man to tackle in the open field.
The other thing when you start thinking about Syracuse going forward, 242 yards of rushing today by the Orange. Jerome Smith over 100 yards. But if you can shorten the game against a big explosive team like Florida State, that probably gives you your best chance.
That's exactly right. They can really chew up a whole lot of clock and move chains running behind this big offensive line and these powerful running backs. And the other thing, too, is, you know, some teams, like today with Maryland, they really struggle with that zone blitzing scheme of Syracuse defense. It's going to be really interesting to see the star, Jameis Winston. He hasn't had an off day yet. You don't want to have an off day against this Syracuse defense. They showed depth in their defensive backfield with Dare Eskridge out the second half. They had some guys really stop make up some plays, but they are going to put pressure, and they are going to blitz against Florida State next week. You can guarantee that.
20-3 is the final here at College Park. Syracuse to 5-4. We'll check scores around the league after this.